It is once again time to prepare your mind for another edition of Weekly Weird.
Oh, you did it.
I did it! Yeah, that's right. I did it. We figured it out. I figured out how to hit render on After Effects. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome, weirdos, to another edition of Weekly Weird. My name is Dio, otherwise known as Dio TV. Sitting next to me, through cyberspace, is Patrick, a.k.a. Old Man Strong. Hi, Patrick.
Hi there.
And even further is Jim, the man Hickox, staring into space.
Oh, hey.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hi, guys.
Oh, hi. How was your week, guys?
You know,
it's been pretty great.
I see we're already like super duper jazzed and super psyched.
I'm so
Yeah.
psyched for more Menendez.
Oh, yeah!
More
More Menendez!
Menendez.
Menendez. That's right, guys. We will be finishing the Menendez story, you guys.
say finishing. He says finishing, but he showed us his script just before we started going, and it is now 48 pages long.
It's
And
not.
We got through 4. We got through 4 last week, and it's now 48, which means, by my math, 11 more weeks.
I mean, listen, I'm not going to challenge your math as I adjust Patrick here for a second. But,
Patrick, what you doing there?
Oh,
Jesus. But,
you gotta warn him.
Alice in Wonderland pills.
I know, right? You eat me. The things Jose Menendez sent to sin. Anyway, ooh, untrue. Probably untrue. That's right. But before we talk about the grim story of the Menendez brothers and potentially finish that up, first, what happened in This Week in Weird? Jim!
Me?
Jim?
Me?
Jim?
Oh.
Jim.
I can tell you some things that were weird that happened in this most recent week, if you're interested in that.
I would love to
Sure
see. Yes. But also, I think I'm not ready for you. But also,
Who is?
I'm ready
Nobody.
for you.
I can tell you from experience. West Virginia, the state, have you heard of it? They're offering prizes if you collect them all, baby. If you visit and check in at all of the 14 spooky locations chosen by the West Virginia Department of Tourism, including the Mothman Museum, but not the statue. But if you're there, check in with them cheeks. You have to, legally. And also, there's a sweet Bigfoot statue. I dropped a link in there also if you want to see this Bigfoot statue. The picture's not that great, but the statue, pretty rad. If you check in at all 14, you get prizes. Even if you check in at some of them, you get prizes. You can get a sticker, a beanie, and an art print that I could not find an image of, unfortunately.
Well,
If anyone's in the area, you should hit these tourist destinations and check in, whatever that means, and win some stuff. Really, the art print is the hit all of them. The beanie you get if you hit 10, but the beanie seems like the real prize there.
I mean, for real. Oh, I like this. This is a good one.
Bigfoot?
This
I knew you would.
This Bigfoot's great. Look at that guy.
Look at that guy.
Whoa.
Look at that guy. That's a good one.
Yeah. It's a
Roblox
sturdy boy.
Bigfoot.
That's right. He's got the same face as I do.
He does.
Oh my god, dude.
He does. Honestly, from torso up, that's you. The
Yeah,
strong
look at it.
shoulders, the head and hair. Yeah. Those pecs, those mighty pecs, that's you, dude.
Put a ghost shirt on that.
That's right.
Yeah. It's the Dio of the woods.
Dio of the Woods. I like it. Also, shout out to Dave with the 35 stream streak. Good work,
Yeah.
Is
Dave.
that Bigfoot wearing shorts?
He does seem to be wearing
I think
shorts.
they didn't want to put a little. They didn't want to have him hanging dong.
Listen, cowards never want to show the milkers or the dong.
I know.
That's-
Just get with it. He's an animal.
For real, all right?
It's gonna be dong.
There's
Gotta
gonna
be
be
dong.
dong. What's next, Jim?
This next guy's it's a video. It's a video.
It's a video.
About paranormal experiences at, you guessed it, a candle shop.
Who guessed it?
Everybody.
Oh,
I said paranormal experiences, and they were all like, "Oh, candle shop."
gotcha.
Yeah.
That guy doesn't have enough
Frightening
face
history.
for his head.
It's too little.
Thousands of
face.
hand-poured
Yeah.
candles and trinkets fill the candle shop of the Poconos in Swiftwater. These stuffed monkeys are popular items. Why, you may ask? Because the shop is known for paranormal animal activity.
We started to have paranormal experiences. It
Oh.
went from there to calling some psychics in and some mediums, and got a hold of Animal Planet because we had animal activity here.
Schleer
Oh,
opened the shop on Route 611 18
Psychics,
years ago,
mediums,
not
and
knowing
Animal
its
Planet.
haunted history.
Yeah, right.
This home was built in 1897, and a doctor lived here. His name was Dr. William Redwood Fisher.
Dr. Fisher used the home as
No!
his research laboratory in the basement, where he tested on primates to create
Oh.
smallpox and yellow fever vaccines.
We started to build the
He
parking
ended up
lots,
just
and we were
creating
finding
smallpox
mass
and
graves of
yellow
the little
fever.
monkey heads, and
Yeah.
you know where they did
They're
the
distributing,
research.
you know.
They ended up opening the haunted history tours throughout his labs, with the original monkey cages and tools left from testing. Many customers over the years have reported feeling paranormal experience. Even photographer Taylor, when walking down these steps, says he felt his jacket being pulled. Schleer says she had one experience
Okay.
that she'll
Applauded on
never
the railing.
forget.
I was on like the fourth step
Yeah,
of
right.
the ladder, and all of a
Look at 'em.
sudden,
Look at these steps.
this
His
noise,
jacket
it sounded
got
like a
yanked out.
train coming, and there was like animals running around my feet and through the top
Animal
floor of the
ghosts I
candle
like.
shop,
I like
and
it.
as
I like
it
accounts of
went
animal
on,
it
ghosts.
got louder and
Right?
louder.
Although the
I just
tour
Not
is
enough.
She's got
educational
vermin
and fun,
problems.
they take safety serious.
I do let everybody
No,
know
because
that if they
those
do
are
feel
alive.
uncomfortable in
Right.
any type
Oh,
of
my
way,
bad, my bad.
we can
Yeah,
exit them
different.
out safely. And we did have to do that several times.
In Swiftwater,
Oh.
Sydney Costas, 28.
Wait, that's what the
News.
fucking thing looks
the
like? Hold on,
No
hold
wonder
on.
it's got ghost animals
Hold
in
on.
In Swiftwater,
Hold on. I feel like they didn't do the Skeletor's castle reveal until the very end.
I know.
And that was some strategic editing, okay?
Start with Castle Grayskull.
Yeah.
It
what
does
the
feel like
fuck?
it does feel like fronting with Candle Store is a little bit disingenuous.
Yeah. There's Candle Store and Skull Emporium. Like, what the fuck is happening here? Also, shout out to Saltman with the 5 stream streak. Thank you. Thank you.
Nice.
Unless it happens to me,
Yeah.
I don't believe it. Saltman, well, then you'll just have to call in with your own ghost stories when it happens. Okay?
Or go check out this Candle Store.
True.
Get your coat tugged.
Get your coat tugged. Yeah, you listen, I don't know.
That's the promise.
A couple of these ladies look like they
You
might
walk down
tug
the
your
stairs, some
coat
gets
if you
tugged.
want. That's right.
Excuse me. Yeah.
That is so insane. Give me a dinosaur ghost. I know. Where are all the dinosaur ghosts? I would love that. Dinosaur ghosts next.
I feel like ghosts must fade over time, mustn't they?
I hope not. If I'm a ghost, I want to be immortal.
I want to be a ghost forever.
Exactly. What's the point of being a ghost unless you're full on immortal? Oh my god! I just played the
Speak-
last
What
video.
the
Animal
fuck
ghosts.
was that about, Theo?
Speaking of animal ghosts,
I was
this
looking
is
at
someone's TikTok video
I'm-
of their ghost being attacked, or their dog being attacked by another dog, and the second dog is also a ghost.
got it.
There's also a third dog.
I hate
That
this
one, I think,
video.
is the one.
This is the worst video in the world.
Yeah, it's
Let
awful.
me just turn that off a little bit. There we go.
This is worse than the door creaking video.
This is
I-
an auditory nightmare.
I didn't think Jim could show a worse video than I've shown. Than the fucking high school ghost video. Is that it?
Does it just end?
No, it's still going. They just shut up.
They
Oh,
just stopped barking out of nowhere.
Oh, and then this dog gets yanked. That's what happens, and his collar falls off.
That was a lot of lead up.
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
like a dog like freaked itself out.
Yeah, exactly.
Then-
It freaked out because it saw a ghost dog, and then that
Yeah.
ghost dog bit it and yanked its collar off.
I've seen
Jerked
ghost
it over to
dogs.
the end of the kit. Look at it. It just got pulled. It's not the movie Ghost Dog.
I mean,
That dog was attacked by what's that guy's name?
by Lawrence. No, not Lawrence Fishburne.
No.
It's, fuck.
This one.
What's his name? Fuck. Help me out. What's Ghost Dog's name,
Nope.
chat?
I'm gonna watch you flounder.
Brother Ali has a song. That is
That's
that
right.
guy's name.
What the fuck?
You're all with me.
We all know. We all know. Fuck. Speaking of flounder, Jim?
Hi. Sorry, I was just Googling Brother Ali to see if I could chase down. Ghost ship found. Speaking of flounders, thank you for that transition that
You're
I
welcome.
did not jump on. They found a ghost ship deep in the ocean. It was called the ghost ship even while it was functioning. It was made for World War II. It was made by our Navy for World War II, and almost immediately got stolen by Japanese sailors who used it against us, and they called it the ghost ship because people kept seeing it as it was being used against us. After the war, we got it back. We recommissioned it into the Navy, and then on May 24, 1946, it was deliberately sunk. Despite deliberately sinking it, we didn't know where it was. But this summer, some research teams found it. Good job, guys. It was on the bottom of the ocean all along. Silly us.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we should have been looking.
I mean,
Same place we sunk it, but
Hiding
down.
in plain sight.
yeah, exactly. How far could it be
Uh,
once you sink it?
Yeah. They say it's like one of the best examples of this style of ship that is preserved by not our doing, preserved by nature after we sunk it intentionally.
What is the style of ship? Ghost?
Ghost.
Got it.
Ghost. Okay.
Got it.
I
Got
don't
it.
remember. It's like a 4-column something. I don't know about boats, and I didn't remember that fact.
The research we do on this show is top notch, guys.
It really is.
Good morning, Edgy.
Morning, Edgy.
Look, it's your fault for asking me about the part I don't care about.
What was the part you did care about?
It's called a ghost ship.
Got it.
Speaking of water, here's a video of some Loch Ness monsters. That's right.
Multiple?
There's multiple. There's dose of them in this
Should
video.
I play this with?
According to the article, I'm not exactly sure what they're talking about, having watched it.
Let me see. Let me.
These videos are bangers.
Let me open up my third
you know,
eye.
Just because this guy didn't see the two monsters doesn't mean they're not in the video. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, you not seeing the thing in the video is like a bear shitting in the woods. Happens every day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I see something. I see one something. for
Yeah,
sure.
I see one something for sure. Not sure it's a Loch Ness monster. I said a Locky. I meant a Nessie. God damn it.
Good old Lucky.
Good old Loch Ness. Ain't shit there. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm
No,
with
there's
you.
a thing. There's a thing.
Yeah,
there.
there was
Yeah.
like an otter that poked his head up or some shit. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, to
Okay,
Thanks, New York Post.
more promising. This fella with serious ice. This is not. I don't know what he's playing now. That is. You're just letting.
What
that
is
roll.
happening?
This is just a guy getting
this
stuck in a
woman-
machine. That's
No,
not
it's a
mine.
woman
That's
getting
not mine.
flipped by a machine. Look,
Yeah. Oh.
and
Body slam.
Damn! By God!
by God,
She's broken in half.
God damn! All right. Well, listen. Look, we had to make up for the fucking lake video there for something. Jim, did you see what happened there?
I did. I saw that one. I saw that
Okay,
one.
good.
Shades of Terry Funk.
Oh my God, Dio.
I know. I showed the sausage again.
You did.
Oh
This
God.
dude, real ass ice on this guy. He thinks he found Nessie on sonar. This guy, check him out. Check out those ears, those drippy ears.
Yeah,
His name's
right?
Sean Sloggy, but with an Irish accent.
Sloggy.
Scottish, I guess, accent. Has been looking for Nessie for years, professionally, in that he works for a company that takes tourists out in a boat to look for Nessie. He has now hit something with his sonar that matches the shape of a Loch Ness Monster. If you scroll down a little bit, we can see the sonar. It's about 98 meters below the surface. The quote from him, "It's the strangest thing that I've ever seen on sonar in my life. When I put that image on the screen, you can feel the chill on board. We are not sonar experts, and I don't know what it is, and I can't tell you how big it is."
Is that what he said?
Pretty strong statement from
That's-
Sloggy.
And therefore
That's
Nessie.
That's it.
All right.
Can you enhance it a little bit? Do you see the Nessie in there? Do you see it?
Enhance. Yeah, I'm guessing
That's
this
it right
is the
there.
Nessie right here, yeah?
That's the Nessie. It's Nessie shaped, right?
I
It's like a
mean,
love with a smaller part.
I mean,
This,
yes.
This shape.
I mean, it does look like some artist rendition of what a Nessie looks like. Ooh, that's your Nessie noise,
Good
huh?
Nessie, dude. That was
Yeah.
good.
That
Isn't that what a Nessie sounds like? I don't
only
know.
when they're in heat, Jim.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's a
Totally not a beaver.
that's a hot to trot Nessie. Look, a beaver's not going to be 98 meters down there. If anything, it's a rock and a log. But it's definitely a Nessie.
If you weren't 1,000% sure it was a Nessie, right?
If I weren't 1,000% sure.
Oh my God, it's Jim's favorite
Speaking
story
of
now.
deep water, baby, keep an eye out for the ghost poops. The story, let me apologize
Yes.
in advance, is not about pooping ghosts. I'm sorry. But it pinged my radar. Turns out, this is important for everyone to know, the healthiest poops are the ones that just shoot right down, just sink right to the bottom and disappear down the toilet on their own, leaving no trace in your toilet or in your butthole.
Wait, like pre-flush?
Says
They just go.
science.
They just
They
go.
call them ghost poops.
What? What?
Well, they just like scoot down to the bottom and maybe you can't see them anymore. And so they call them ghost poops. Those are the ones that's how you know you've been eating well, I guess. Either your bowels are functioning correctly.
I was so excited for this story.
Look, I saw
Yeah,
ghost
I am-
poops.
I
I saw
I'm
ghost poops.
I've never been more disappointed.
I know.
I was
Like,
equally
you
disappointed,
ruined
and
my
I
night.
needed you all to have a piece of that. I thought maybe if we were all disappointed, then I'd be less disappointed.
We're gonna watch this woman get rocked by the machine again.
Yeah, let's watch
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
Let's watch this poor woman get rocked.
I
Don't-
like that this is coming up
Here
after
she goes.
everything.
Here she goes in slow motion.
Wham!
Bam!
Bam! By God. All right. Anyway, second time today I hear about poop. Well,
We can
Oh.
aim for 5 by the end of the show if that's
mhm.
if that's what's keeping us all going.
John Cena.
The horrible new British queen was attacked by a hero ghost. Queen Camilla attacked by a ghost. You can see it in this picture, smashing into the back of her head, wrapping around her like a thick white smoke. Just kidding. That's her hair. She just looks disgusted. That's just her face.
God damn.
Before Camilla married the horrifying flop of rotten flesh that is King Charles, she had a family with sagging loaf of wet bread, Andrew Parker Bowles. I put a picture there if you want to see him. He's tragic. You don't have to.
Where is it?
Being offensively wealthy, they lived in a horribly large house in which they would hear ghosts throwing banquets, entire banquets of ghosts, downstairs, far enough away that it wasn't worth investigating, and yet also somehow still inside their home, which is appalling. Once she had night terrors and she survived them, is what the story's about. She credits that to how tough she is and how accurate meritocracy is for making them so repulsively rich. Good for her.
So
New
Jim,
wife.
tell me how
awful
you
king. Yeah.
how you really feel about her.
You know, it's good for them. Good for them for fooling a whole country into floating them.
One day we will do such a thing. Speaking of floating, Jim.
Speaking of floating, is it Jesus? It's another floating guy. Remember that guy from a couple of weeks ago when we were watching all those videos? It's another one. It's got to be Jesus. This guy was drifting around Burien, Washington, which is right next to the SeaTac airport. Weird that it's floating around near there. There's a video if you scroll down a little bit. It's weird that it was drifting around near the airport. Also, there's some people in the comments that are
Look at those
maybe
arms.
there isn't a video. I thought
Yeah,
there was
there's
a video.
Look at
There's
those
more
arms.
pictures.
Yeah, this is.
Look at that guy. That's a
That
real
last one.
person.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yep, that's
That is a real person.
That's definitely
One of those
people.
is an arm.
That's definitely not a man-shaped balloon. That's
What do you
definitely
mean?
Jesus.
No.
Yeah.
This is
No,
some
that's
SCP
Jesus.
bullshit. That's right. Mhm.
He's
That's a
coming
blow-
back.
That's a blow-up doll filled with heel. Exactly.
AKA our Lord and Savior.
Do you think they make Jesus blow-up dolls?
Yes.
Oh
Yeah,
my
why
god!
wouldn't they?
All right.
I think if they
Like
don't,
like
we
fuckable
will
Jesus
now.
blow up
Yeah.
dolls.
Yeah.
Like blow-up dolls with the same purposes of blow-up dolls,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
with the affectation of Jesus. You know,
Yeah.
in the imagery. I mean, it does. And is that blasphemous?
Yes.
Is it?
I'm gonna
Yeah.
say yes.
Because you're supposed to take
Yeah.
Jesus into your heart, but maybe
You're
if
not
you...
supposed to mouth fuck Jesus. That's
I don't
blasphemous.
remember. I don't remember ever hearing that growing up.
I mean,
from church,
Yeah, I don't. I mean,
they
it's
were never like, "You shall not take the Lord's name in vain, and you shall not insert your phallus into the Lord in any manner at all."
do not
Nobody
take
ever said that to
621,
me.
yeah.
do not take the Lord's name in vain, and do not take the Lord's phallus in your butthole.
Yeah, that's. I mean, if anything, you're giving them a little gift there.
Buddhist, no fucks given though. But would you get a blow up doll of the Almighty Buddha? Okay, Siddhartha. You know. Also, I think probably it would be. I mean, I don't think the Buddha would care. The Buddha it seems like he has a
Yeah.
good time.
He's past it, man. He's
Yeah, that's true. He has no earthly desires.
yeah.
Buddha doesn't say no to everything like Jesus did. There you go. There you go.
There's very little in the Bible about Jesus' sexual proclivities.
True.
There must have been. He must have been doing
He cleans the
something
feet of prostitutes.
outside of the
he's
text.
a
you know?
footman.
Yeah, he hangs with
That's true.
prostitutes for sure.
Yeah, that's what we know.
And
Welcome to the Weekly Weirds feature story: The Sex Life of Jesus.
Listen, he hung out with like 13 guys, okay? I think we can make reasonable
Sure.
assumptions about Jesus' sex life. It was like it was like entourage for Jesus every time.
That's right.
Yeah.
Speaking of Jesus' sex life, Jim.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, UFO spotted over Perth, Australia. There's a video in this one. I think actually this time. But according to the article, these lights have been appearing all week all over the west coast of Australia. It doesn't offer any real explanation for them. It just says that a bunch of people have been seeing them in various cities on the west coast of Australia.
One day this video might play.
Look at it. Look at it. Ooh,
Come on, one more time.
real.
Come on.
Saltman, congratulations. I couldn't get this video to play either. That's why I didn't do the.
Yeah.
Mm.
It didn't
yeah,
play.
article.
It didn't play on my computer either. But historically, things that don't play for me do play for Dio.
That's true.
Interesting. Oof.
But yeah, Saltman,
You say that's
I want
a
to
loading circle,
congratulate
but I
you.
think it's a UFO.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, hit it, Pat. Hit it, Pat.
Yeah. First use of Whore of Babylon in chat. Very, yeah. You should be very proud.
Nice. Wait, does this video? That's not a video. That's just a screen cap of a video. Great, cool. and
Well, okay.
great. All right. Well, I believe you.
Yep,
Get
it's
together,
real.
Australia.
You can't disprove it,
That's
so
right.
it's real.
That's right.
Dio, do you want? I wrote little blurbs on these two stories, but you dropped them in there. Do you want them? You can. Have them.
No, you can talk about them. They're
You
all
wanna
yours.
Just read word for word.
Dio's
what I
got
wrote,
so
and
much.
then-
All right,
opportunity
okay.
tonight.
Yeah. Do you really want to hear more of my voice than you're going to hear tonight?
Fine. Fine.
Fine.
A new fucking star? Is that even legal? 3,000 light years away lurks the Corona Borealis constellation. A normal constellation stands for one thing. It houses a dead star, creatively named T Coronae Borealis, that explodes into a nova every 80 years or so. T Cor Bor, as it's known to friends, is one of 10 nearby to us known recurring novas. Recurring novas are stars that kind of lay low for a while and then hit the fireball real hard and just pop off. This event, T-Core board does it every 80 years. Did I say that? It's every 80 years or so. And it's supposed to happen in the next few days. It should make T-Core Bor about as bright as the North Star, and it should remain visible to the naked eye for a few days before fading back down to chill for another 80 years.
Dang. That's wild.
Wild.
Yeah.
Keep your eyes out for it if you're into looking at the sky.
Like it.
I don't know where, but you can look up the Corona Borealis, find its direction, check it out. That's just some science, y'all.
Doesn't Borealis mean like in the northern hemisphere or something like that? Isn't that what that means? I don't know. I might be making that up because it's like the Aurora Borealis is the one.
I thought it had to do with pigs. I don't know.
Speaking of pigs,
space.
God damn it.
Your boy is back. It's Tsuchinshin Atlas. I was kind of hoping you would take this one because I'm gonna make now myself a Tsuchinshin Atlas.
Oh no, you can have this one, Jim. You can read the difficult words now, Jim.
The most anticipated comet of 2024, according to this article. I know y'all are hype for Tsuchinshin Atlas. It should be visible just before dawn as a faint star-like smudge trailed by a hazy trail from tonight through Monday. A faint star-like smudge trailed by a hazy tail. You know what we like, Tsuchinshin Atlas, you coy dog. Who's not anticipating that? Yeah, smudge.
Yeah.
Hazy tail.
Who doesn't love a smudge with a hazy tail? I mean, I think the hazy tail is a strip club.
It's a beer
down the street. Yeah. Hazy tail IPA. It tastes like shit, but all the hipsters say it's good.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, speaking of hazy tail, Patrick.
Oh, is it my turn?
I believe it's your turn.
How the fuck do I segue from hazy tail? Missouri Airbnb offers a paranormal research equipment at their rental. This is in Ozark, Missouri, and they offer a haunted stay at the Epperson House, which is a historic morgue and paranormal investigation house. Yeah.
Sick.
The owners claim that numerous professional paranormal researchers have spent evenings in the house and have experienced many events.
Oh.
Anyone choosing to rent the house for a haunted stay will be given a spirit box, an EMF detector, dowsing rods, and other research equipment.
Nice.
But the owner does warn that there will be no refunds if you choose to leave mid-stay due to too much spookiness.
Wow. Wow. You know, how many times has he had to tell
That's
people
like
that?
That's a classic William Castle bit.
Right.
No refunds if you can't withstand the whole film.
Yeah,
like, oh,
exactly.
Shit.
The tickler.
Some people can't handle it. I should handle it.
What more vague sentence could there be than professional paranormal researchers have seen many things? Like, come on. Come on. There's no vaguer sentence than that. Professional.
At least 3 morgue drawers. That's many things right there.
Yeah, that's right.
They've seen LEDs blink on their machines.
Yeah.
Shit ton of bricks.
They've seen bugs be out of focus flying in front of them. You know what they don't ever see, those professionals? They never see fishing lines. Yeah, that's why we have Patrick.
That's true.
They never see the fishing line.
The only pro in the business that sees the fishing line,
Well,
there.
that's what keeps Patrick from being a pro.
Well, he is a pro.
Fishing.
Super pro.
No. The pros don't see the fishing line.
Yeah. If I would just shut up about the fishing lines, I'd be a paranormal expert.
In this case, he's just a reality expert.
Yeah.
Right. Boring.
Dio, you're gonna love this.
I already do.
Bigfoot went viral.
Hell yeah.
Guys,
finally.
it is the clearest footage of Bigfoot. Let's just watch it real quick.
Yeah. I mean, okay.
All right.
What's that Bigfoot up to? Just smelling some plants?
Yeah, he's just fucking chilling, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Look at him chill. Yeah. I like
this
that.
comes from the parallel forest in Oklahoma. A terrified hiker claimed that he
It's
caught
called
the
the
clearest
parallel forest?
Sure
That
is.
is pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
Spooky.
Where else would Bigfoot be chilling, dude?
Yeah, no, you're right.
So this hiker who caught this very clear footage posted it on TikTok, and the video now boasts more than 1.2 million views on the platform. Dio, God damn you! I see what you're doing. You're just mad that this guy got the costume you wanted to get.
Listen, that's neither here nor there. But also, I'm just gonna gonna point out some. Listen, if I wasn't,
costume is?
Yeah, exactly.
I can't believe you right now.
1,000% sure that was a Bigfoot. I might say that it's the branded costume for a fucking beef jerky company mascot. And that they didn't even try to dress it up. Like, they were too lazy to even change it from the very recognizable mascot for a beef jerky company.
Listen, go back to the news article, because there's a link that you need to click. Because despite the hiker swearing to its authenticity, the Bigfoot head shop in Lawton, Oklahoma, a nearby town, has claimed that it was just part of an ad campaign for the Bigfoot head shop.
Love that. And
you can actually see the guy who wore the costume in their most recent post.
This picture.
Will Jack Links come after the Bigfoot head shop?
If they do, I say
It's
we
the real
fight.
question.
We fight them tooth and nail. Okay, we go again.
Okay, yeah,
Fight them. We fight them from the top to the bottom of our big feet. Like,
as lawyers, we'll take that case.
That's right. Well, we might be 3 podcasters pretending to be lawyers, but
the firm of TV Strong and Jim.
My esteemed colleague, Attorney Jim here. Hi, this is all right. Good for them. I do like.
Good for them.
Wait, so did the people who turned this in had nothing to do with the ad campaign?
Yeah, the hiker swears it's authentic. He didn't believe it. But then,
I see.
On that Facebook page, the 2 owner guys showed the
I think they're
employee
lying.
who was wearing the costume in his costume.
No way.
And it turned out that the person
I don't believe it.
was a Bigfoot wearing a Bigfoot costume. I mean, it does look like he's enjoying some herb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the idea that if it was a publicity stunt, their publicity stunt was just to put that guy out near a trail and wait for someone else to find him.
That's pretty good, honestly. Maybe that's how we should publicize Weekly Weird. Once I get my Bigfoot costume, I can just walk around until somebody
You just
takes a
camp
picture
out.
of me.
Yeah.
And then I turn and go,
You give him a t-shirt.
Oh, watch the Weekly
what
Weird.
I think is the real case of this is that the guy was doing an actual commercial shoot out in the woods with some people, and he was just taking a chill break, and this guy stumbled upon him while he was in between shots. Because I think that's what they said is they were doing a real commercial.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And then he was like, "What? No, it's a costume. It's a costume." Huh? What?
I love the
Yeah.
that head tilt.
Right? The head, the like.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like he doesn't have his glasses and he's trying to
Well,
happen over there.
don't do that in Texas. Too many guns. That is true. That is true. But I feel like they wouldn't shoot a Bigfoot in Texas.
Who would shoot a Bigfoot?
I know.
Who would shoot a Bigfoot?
Yeah.
Yeah, you shouldn't just shoot anything that's moving. That's right. That is right. That is correct. What? Wait, did we? Oh, we have one more because I do want to cover this one. I like this one, guys.
And we also have one at the end, but we got to wait until we're done with the whole episode.
Ooh,
That's right. That's
teaser.
right.
Better hang out all show, babies.
That's
we got
right.
One extra thing.
But I did want to talk about AI discovers 303 Nazca geoglyphs from aerial photos of Peruvian desert. Guys, if you don't know what the Nazca lines are, they are these incredibly interesting and massive drawings in Peru, done by the Nazca people. They are like giant, some of these things are hundreds of meters across. That's probably too big. They're very big. But as you can see, you see them from satellite imagery. They didn't even know they existed to begin with until they invented airplanes and they were flying over the desert and they were like, holy shit, there's some really big artwork in the desert, which is crazy to think about. They were completely lost up until then. Anyway, up until recently, they thought there were only around 300 of them. Until they trained a algorithm, some sort of machine learning program, they call it AI, to scan the horizon and look for signs of more. And they found like 400 more. And so now they've like added to the huge database of Nazca lines. And you can see I love these things. They are so cool. They're also rife for conspiracy thought. As you can see, some of these things look otherworldly, ghostly, and or paranormal like. They depict mythical creatures and real creatures and humans and all of this kind of stuff. So people have long speculated that there's, as to what the purpose was for them, whether or not these were symbols or that were being shown up into the sky. They're awesome.
Of these 60, of these 6, which ones are mythical and which ones are real?
So that's
also what are their names?
This one's Blowbert. I was gonna get to it. Okay. This is Dingle Ding. Florbulus right here. Jack. Terry.
Obviously.
And Pemington Fattlebottom the 7th, Duke Earl of Nazca. So that's so yeah.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome. Look, I mean, you could do your own research sometime, Jim. I mean, I'm just saying.
I could, but I won't.
But yeah, it's super fascinating that there's. I would say this is one of the good uses of AI out there in the world, where we could discover more things about our planet and the glorious mysteries underneath them. Also, I am tempted.
Underneath.
Or on top of them in this case. I want this guy potentially to be our new DOTV Weekly Weird mascot. This guy here.
Yeah.
I like him.
Yeah.
With his tiny little legs. What do you guys
this
think?
feels like viral marketing for the next Monsters Inc.
For the Nazca culture.
Yeah, there was the Nazca really were just laying down the brand. That's an emote, exactly. But anyway, super cool. Wanted to talk about that. Yeah. And I think that's it. I think we did This Week in Weird.
Oh, thank God we can get to the Menendez.
Yay!
Wait, though.
Oh.
So happy.
Oh, wait. What? What do you mean, Jim? What am I waiting for?
Oh.
It's,
How could we forget?
We got a sponsorship. It's a short one. It's a short
right,
one.
right. our contractual obligations.
Our contractual, okay.
Sorry?
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Our contractual,
Mm-hmm.
Dio.
One more time?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
For money.
For money. All right. Well, you're right. Gentlemen, it's that time of year again. Spooky season. Time for candy and costumes and 3 a.m. ragers in the graveyard. Woo!
Yeah, boy.
But some people, and I'm sure it's nobody here with us now, but some people aren't in the spirit. I'm looking at you, Nightwing. Some people think we should wait until closer to Halloween. We call those people the Scrooges of October, or Scrobers. You boys know how much I hate Scrobers, right?
Yes.
Always talking about
How
it.
much do
You're
I
a
hate them,
t-shirt.
guys?
Look,
So
can we not go
much.
into it? You're gonna get canceled. You say terrible things.
You do say really offensive stuff.
I mean, listen. Anyway, now we've got a solution. And what is that solution? Halloween specs!
Oh.
Though these innovative glasses make everything you look at appear to be decorated for Halloween. People in costume. Porches covered in jack-o'-lanterns and cobwebs. Candy so much smaller than normal. Why pull a mask on over your head and force your enthusiasm on everyone else while feeling sad that they all still look like September? With a simple pair of clever spectacles, you can make everyone else look like they know what time it is without anyone knowing what you're up to. Put those Scrobers in their place, those fucking dirty Scrobers, under a costume.
Dio.
Halloween specs, available for sale in the back pages of your favorite magazine. Another fine product of Unicorp, the only company.
Thank you. Edgy, the girl in green. The titties are out. The titties are straight up
She's
out,
wearing
dude.
something. She's wearing
No.
something. She's at a
No,
party.
dude.
I
Those
mean-
you just gave us X-ray specs.
Yeah, yeah. Wait a minute.
No.
I see nip.
Hold on, let me double check.
No, you don't.
I've got mine right
You
here,
don't.
guys. I got mine right here. Hold on.
Enhance.
There's just she's wearing piercings through the shirt, which is a cool thing people do now.
I don't know, Jim. I don't know. I think we'll see what Twitch has to say about this video.
I promise. I promise.
Yeah, those are definitely pierced
Best
nipples.
episode ever.
Yeah.
Those were, yeah. That's how I could tell they were pierced. That's how well I could see
No,
it.
'cause
Yeah.
they're through. It's through the shirt. People do. Have you not seen that? That it's like a hip thing.
Hold
people
on.
are doing
I
now is
am enhancing.
wearing piercings through the
absolutely-
shirt.
I am enhancing and
Yeah.
totally not saving this for later.
I too have hung out with Dave. I can tell that the nipples are pierced on
I-
the shirt.
Upon thorough examination, I don't think you can see nip. You
I
can
checked. I checked for TOS.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think you can see the nip. However, hit that like and subscribe button. Maybe we'll show nip. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Guys,
If you want to see Nip,
yeah, we can make that happen. Yeah, gentlemen, it is time to finish
God damn.
with the Menendez brothers. All right,
is this them? Are these them?
these are they.
Them last year.
These are they.
Wow.
These are the Menendez
It's
brothers.
weird. Like, of course they're adult men now, but it's weird that they're adult men now.
These
You
two
know?
fuckers. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I know, it is weird. It is especially weird considering that they were adult men when they were sentenced too. And we'll get into that.
Which one was the one that had to wear a wig?
Well, Jim, I'll give you 3 guesses. Yes, on the if for those of you who don't know, that is Lyle over here. They can't see me motioning with the mouse, but Lyle is right above me. Eric being the one above Patrick. The Menendez brothers. We talked about them last week. Last week, we kind of focused on the backstory of the Menendez family, about how their father was a Cuban immigrant who ruthlessly climbed the corporate ladder, dominated his family the same way he would dominate his rivals in the boardroom. We also covered some of the later allegations that would be made against Jose, namely that he abused his children, his two sons. Again, from now on, we're going to be dealing with horrible shit, so you have been warned. The allegations that these two...
From now on.
Well, you know, from this moment on, yes, I'm going to be talking about all this bullshit. But...
Jim, remember how you said Jose was your hero last year?
Yeah, that's
I
right.
say he's my hero. I just, I don't think he's
Multiple
that bad
times.
a dude.
Just he's made an altar since. It's weird. You guys can't see it, but it's behind his green screen.
It's behind my green screen, yeah. But...
Yeah.
Look, he did some good stuff. He found a lot of cool bands. He, was handsome. He's a real American dream,
All right. Now, I will say
American dreamboat.
All right,
Sorry.
Jim. All right, keep it in your pants. I have to admit that perhaps last week I didn't give the proper context with these allegations. Firstly, none of them ever came out before the trial. Before we get to it, but like the allegations about Jose were never brought up by anyone before the brothers brought him up in their defense for their trial. Okay. They weren't even initially part of the boys' confessions. Okay. Secondly, while it is true that many family members have since come out to verify the brothers' claims, consider something very important. Those people who are related to the Menendez brothers, who would have at the time stood to inherit quite a lot of money, might have a financial incentive to make sure that money doesn't go away to the state or somewhere else. So
would it?
It would. In a lot of cases, like his assets would have been dissolved. He was going to get paid out for various life insurance things in addition to just the amount of wealth that he had himself. So, if the brothers killed him, then it's a whole thing. It's a very different situation. Anyway, the state gets involved. Thirdly, there have been recent stuff has come to light that may corroborate their allegations. However, they are only more allegations. Nothing has actually been set in stone or proven. There's no evidence of these things, okay? Now, we're going to talk about what happened, basically everything after the murder today, including what the defense and the prosecution alleged happened. And after today, it'll be up to you guys. What do you guys think? Are these guys murderers, cold-blooded killers who just did this for the money? Were they victims of abuse? Was it something in between? It's hard to know. But what we do know for sure, and what even these two men admit to, is that these two killed their parents with two 12-gauge Mossberg shotguns. Why they did it will become the central focus of the trial.
Now, two shotguns?
Yeah, they both had a shotgun. Yeah. Now, as we said last week, the LAPD didn't initially suspect the boys of the murder. Okay. Shockingly, this was a case of all too familiar police inadequacy. They let the boys leave the crime scene almost immediately without doing some basic tests that would have very quickly wrapped up the case. Namely, a gunshot residue test. The boys, when the police arrived, were like making a huge hysterical scene. Eric was like banging his head against a tree, and Lyle was trying to restrain him, and all that stuff. And they initially thought, well, no, these kids could have nothing to do with it. And again, I keep saying kids. Also, to put in perspective, we're talking about a 21-year-old and an 18-year-old. Sure, not fully grown adults, but they are, legally speaking, adults. And so, you would think that the officers of the law would treat them like adults and also treat them like normal suspects. That is not what happened. if you're not familiar with what a gunshot residue test is, basically you shoot a gun. All of your cartridges will have black powder or gunpowder in it. When the bullet goes off, it leaves that residue in a very fine mist. Even if you take a shower or sometimes even a bath, it sometimes doesn't get it all the way off of your hands and upper body. So that test would have solved it right away. What's that?
Is a bath more cleansing than a shower?
I mean, I don't think
For the soul.
truly. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
I see. Even if you take a nice bath with some candles, some soft music, you'll still smell that. You'll still smell that shotgun blast.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
Get a
Every
little
morning when you wake up.
But apparently, like I said, the performances that these two guys gave when the police showed up basically convinced them not to do any tests. A Los Angeles detective named Les Zoller was appointed as the lead investigator on the case. Zoller was only 38 and looked a lot younger, but he was like considered the like star LAPD investigator. He had previously been the lead investigator and had solved what was called the Billionaires Boys Club case, which there was a recent 2018 movie about it. And ironically enough,
That sounds like a hip T-shirt company. Billionaire Boys
I'm
Club.
sure it is. I'm sure it is. What's ironic about that is that was like I think it was a 1984 case that was like where a bunch of like it was like a rich kids all invest together Ponzi scheme that resulted in 2 murders. Zoller had solved the murders. That Billionaires Boys Club case had become a TV movie by the time of these murders, and it is speculated that that TV movie inspired these two to commit the murders they would commit. So
You know what I heard inspired them was Doom.
the video game Doom.
yeah, the 1993, is that right? Video game Doom.
Yeah. I don't. Well, you have to check the timing on that one. Zoller noticed when he got to the crime scene that nothing was stolen from the residence and there was no sign of forced entry. So presumably, the victims knew their attackers. When Lyle and Eric were brought to the police station, they were interviewed by Sergeant Thomas Edmonds, and he tried to talk to them, but Eric, who at this point had been making this large display of emotion, quickly broke down again and was sobbing and shaking constantly. Lyle, who was more like his most likely sociopathic father, answered the questions calmly and methodically. They claimed that they were playing tennis all day and then later went to go shopping at a nearby mall. Then they claimed that they had arrangements to meet with a friend at 5 p.m. to go to the Taste of LA festival in Santa Monica. Finally, after the festival, they went to go see the recently released James Bond film, License to Kill. But the lines were too long. So instead, they went to go see Batman. This was 1989.
Better choice, honestly.
I mean, what a year for movies,
Better
though.
choice.
It is a better choice.
Yeah, right?
Absolutely. What a good day they had.
Yeah. Also, what do we know about this Taste of LA festival?
Well, there's a
I'm
similar
interested.
festival in
Anthony?
Chicago. Yeah, Anthony, what's the Taste of LA festival? Anybody out there in LA know? But if it's similar
Yeah,
to the
hit us up.
Taste of Chicago, which I'm assuming it is, it's just like
Oh man.
it's just like
I mean,
where
it's similar but better.
There's usually
You
a
know,
murder.
Like
yeah.
the food's
Yeah.
less weird, you know?
right. But yeah, after that, they were going to meet up with another friend at the Cheesecake Factory, which the amount of times
Real turn for the worse.
I know. It's like you go to this is where the first hole in the story should be, because it's like you go to the Taste
Yeah.
of LA and then you're like,
Yeah.
food wasn't good enough. You know where I can get some good food? The Cheesecake Factory.
Cheesecake Factory.
The amount of times the Cheesecake Factory factors into this story is too much. Too much.
Really?
Oh yes.
They should start
This won't be the last time.
based on that.
Why? Yeah.
Yeah. I guess maybe in 1989, Cheesecake Factory was fairly new, so maybe it was kind of hip. You know?
New, but like it was never, good. Especially if you're like a wealthy boy,
That's what
like,
I'm saying.
Cheesecake Factory is
Yeah.
it's like Olive Garden, where it's like if
Where
you're
your
not
family?
well off, you're like it's time for a
Exactly, yeah.
fancy night out. Let's hit the Olive Garden where we're family. It's like up from Burger King. But if you're like a bougie boy, surely you know a better restaurant than the Olive Garden.
I don't know.
I mean, L.A. Yeah.
Cheesecake Factory, right?
Well, even more to that point is that according to their story, they wanted to go back home so that Eric could pick up his fake ID so they could go drinking at the Cheesecake Factory.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
that's the saddest story I've ever heard. We're in the middle of a story about abuse and murder, and that is the saddest story I've ever heard. They're going to get
True.
a fakie to drink at the Cheesecake Factory.
That's how you know they were abused,
Guys,
man.
come on.
They didn't.
Oh,
They didn't think they deserved better.
right? They do deserve better. Even someone who murders their parents deserves better than going out for drinks at the Cheesecake Factory.
Damn.
Have a little self-respect.
They say that when they got home, that the two of them noticed smoke in the house, and that's what led them to the discovery of the bodies, which is weird because that's not what any of the cops said they saw when they got there. They didn't see any sign of smoke. Presumably, they must have maybe remembered, you're firing a gun. There is smoke that goes off, especially with something like a shotgun. But it dissipates rather quickly. Like, it's not a lingering smoke that sits around. It's pretty heavy smoke, so it tends to land on stuff. So, Lyle also told detectives that Kitty, his mother, had been nervous and even suicidal during the 2 years prior. Kitty had made actually a half-hearted suicide attempt with prescription drugs a couple of years before the murders, and was in the habit of locking the door. As we mentioned last week, she had, by this point, confided in her psychiatrist that she feared her sons were sociopaths and might hurt her. So, so there was, like we mentioned, the relationship definitely had deteriorated pretty far by the time it got to the murder, in a noticeable way. So there wasn't, it's messed up to say, but like Kitty maybe wasn't entirely surprised what happened to her. When prompted by the police as to who might have wanted his parents dead, Lyle offered up, quote, maybe the mob. And you can see from the autopsy and what happened that they were hoping that it would look like a mob hit. Both Kitty and Jose were shot multiple times in the limbs. Kitty was shot in the knee after she was already dead, and a way is trying to make it look like a mob hit. The fact that Jose was shot point blank in the back of the head with the gun pressed up against his head, again, is like very reminiscent of like a mobster in a movie.
You know what mobsters don't usually do, though, is run into a house with shotguns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Famously, they use like pretty small calibers most of the time.
Yeah, that is also true. And it will say the boys will claim later that they were initially intending to use handguns in the crime. That's a whole other thing we'll talk about later. But also
in episode 4.
Yeah, that's right. 2 weeks from now. I will say, in a kind of revision to what last week, I tried to I took a little bit of artistic license with the murder. The shot to the head was almost certainly not the first shot that hit Jose, it was almost certainly one of the last shots. Every other bullet wound that he had evidence of blood in it, which indicates that his heart was still pumping when he was hit with those wounds. So they were filled with blood as the heart was still pumping. And then that last head wound, shot to the head, killed him.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Do you think that was like a we want to frame this on the mafia and we think they would have shot him in the head, or do you think that was like at the end of a horror movie where someone kills the monster and they just keep hitting it way too long? They were like, I have murdered this man, but I need to like
destroy him,
physically disfigure. Yeah.
I think that I don't believe for a second that they considered any other weapon than like shooting them with a shotgun. I think like they wanted to and the choice of the weapon had to do with how much damage they could do to them. And they certainly did not want to make sure, or they certainly did not want to leave them alive. I personally believe that. Sure. I don't know. I mean, as we will get to, I'll just talk about it now. Like their story is that they went to buy handguns first, and that they couldn't buy handguns because there was a 15-day like cooling off period for purchasing of handguns at the time. For reasons we'll get to later, that story is almost certainly bullshit. Like that is almost certainly not true. Like, and in fact, like it'll come up in the trial, they'll get caught in that lie. And so like I think they planned this murder. And I think they planned the weapon. And I think part of their choice of weapon was, how can we make this look like a gang hit or a gangster hit, mob hit, and how can we make sure that they're dead? You know?
That's so wild.
So, let's see. Blah, 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 blah. So I talked about all that. Kitty also similarly suffered quite a bit before she died. We talked about it. She was clearly crawling away. There's also like injuries to her hands in such a way that seem to indicate that maybe rather than like trying to go like this to stop the being shot, she was actually trying to like cover her face from seeing who was doing it. Like that she was reacting so poorly to who was actually killing her that she was trying to cover her eyes. Because she had wounds on the other side of her hand. They also, Kitty, unlike Jose, many of her wounds were from birdshot, which indicates that they reloaded their guns with a different type of ammo and killed her. Now, whether or not they saved that ammo for her, I suspect that they probably thought, oh well, she's like a woman, she will die easier because with birdshot.
She's a bird.
Yeah. God damn it. Yeah,
we
something. I mean, honestly, something fucked up like
They're
that.
So
for
clearly
sure.
labeled.
Yeah, exactly. These ones are pink, so we're gonna shoot them with the.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, and again, like I mentioned before, she was shot in the knee after she was already dead to try to make it look like, kneecap shots. I don't know. They had some like, these are honestly they are adults. They're 21 and 18 when this happens. But they are like so kind of stunted, and clearly in their own reality, they think this is what like a gangster style murder would look like. Yeah. Whatever. On August 25th, 1989, the boys held an elaborate memorial service for their parents. Again, they weren't held at this point, and weren't suspects. Since Jose was in the entertainment business, the memorial was at the Directors Guild of America in L.A.
Sick.
Lyle and Eric actually showed up an hour late to the service, however, and reportedly Lyle used the event to introduce himself to all his father's business associates, and kind of treated it as a networking opportunity. Eric, fantastic. Yeah. Eric does seem to have been emotionally distraught during the entire thing. And then even so much so that 3 days later, when they did a more formal for the family memorial service in a church, Eric did not speak at it, while Lyle got up and talked about how much he missed his parents and how much they meant to him and all of that. Again, this is all before anybody knew that these guys murdered their parents. And all of this kind of performative stuff.
Whoa, that's a big accusation there, Tia.
Well, all of this, they admit they killed their parents. All of this is like very performative and ended up being like evidence against them, and something to keep in mind as these allegations, as we consider the allegations they make against Jose. They were liars. They were very good liars. They lied to everybody for a long period of time after the murder. With all the memorial services out of the way.
These two guys?
I know, right? Look at those guys.
By the way, the smiles are going to give me nightmares. I hate that this is staying up on the projector. Like, neither of them know how to smile correctly.
I
It's
know.
awful.
I mean, Lyle looks like a shaved chimp, really. So he's very.
He really does.
He really does.
Yeah.
And
Dude,
he's got.
what was
teeth, though.
He does.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Eric,
showing his teeth.
the toothless smile.
Yeah. Lyle, you know what was it? The third Planet of the Apes movie where Bad Ape, where Steve Zahn played the ape. That's what he looks like. Bad Ape.
He does look like Bad Ape. Yep.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? With all that out of the way, Lyle and Eric began the real grieving process, spending all of their dad's life insurance money. They bought new cars, jewelry, and spent $15,000 on Rolex watches. They all in all they spent about $700,000 on luxury items within the first few weeks of their parents' death. Like, it was so quick. But it was a paltry amount of money compared to what they believed they stood to inherit. So initially, they believed that they were in line to get $90 million.
Wow.
They thought that. In actual fact, they were going to get about $2 million. See, because while Jose had a lot of expensive stuff, he also had a lot of expensive debt. And so when everything got cleared back and forth, that's about all that they were left with. And when reportedly, when they heard that, that's when they decided, oh, we're going to sell the house. They started living in like hotels. They just did not. They were like, oh, well, we got to liquidate some of this. Lyle.
That's why you should always tell your children about your debt, because if they just think they're going to inherit $90 million, you've basically put a hit on your debt.
That is true.
You said,
that is
as
true.
soon as I'm gone, you're getting 90 mil.
But also 88
So you gotta
mil
be
of debt.
like, yeah. Also, I owe much more than that.
Yeah. Lyle, who had aspirations to be a great businessman like his father, decided he would get into the
Sounds
restaurant
like not like
business.
his father. Sounds like his father was actually not that great at business.
I mean, well, no, because it's like, the way
I guess
rich
$2 million is still a lot of money.
It is a lot of money, and also it's like the debt to that was debt probably he was never going to pay off, right? Because you know how rich people work is like they take out a bunch of money, they use their the debt to pay for things, and then they just take out another loan to pay for that loan, and it's just a cycle of loan and debt. And like that's kind of what it seems like that
rich is.
what being rich is. Yeah, exactly. He just had like infinite lines of credit, and then when that guy is gone, he no longer has that line of credit, so all the debt comes in. So anyway, Lyle bought a chicken wing joint called Chuck Spring Street Cafe for $300,000 over the value. So it was yep. And he immediately, proving that he was not the businessman that his father was, he immediately made the decision to rename the restaurant, even though this was a restaurant with an established reputation and a strong clientele. He decided, fuck that, we're going to call it Mr. Buffalo. And that was his new restaurant chain.
He didn't even name it like Lyle's?
No.
He just came up with a dumb name that had
Mr.
nothing to do with him or
Well,
the restaurant?
because he was looking at the franchise opportunities, Jim. See, he
Uh-huh.
bought one restaurant called Mr. Buffalo, and then immediately decided that he was going to open another restaurant in California
Sure.
and one in New Jersey. But
Great.
you know, the problem was that when he bought the first restaurant for $300K over its value, he didn't realize that he immediately drove that business into the ground because it wasn't making
Sure.
profits for him
Sure.
because he already started by being in the hole. So, you know.
The classic son of a businessman shit.
Right,
Mhm.
right.
Hey,
On
restaurant business is hard, all right?
It's true. So maybe you shouldn't just do it on a whim when you're 21 and
Yeah.
have no
Yeah,
other
right.
prospects. And don't cook. Like, it's not like fucking Lyle knows anything about cooking.
Like he had a
He's-
secret wing recipe.
No. Yeah, right. With the Menendez family wing recipe. I killed my father for the wing recipe.
Like a good burger, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Eric instead decided to focus on his tennis and hired expensive coaches. But unfortunately for Eric, he wasn't getting any better. Later, when during the trial, Eric would actually claim that he wanted to escape and relieve the pressure of tennis. But that doesn't seem to have really been the case. In fact, just days before he was arrested, Eric was in Israel for a tennis tournament. So, you know, yeah, there's I might have a link later in my little document here, but you can find basically
If you
all.
guys could see how many pages he's
He's
scrolling.
scrolling through so much right now.
Just giving you a little
It's
taste,
upsetting
guys.
how much is left.
Hey, we just started. Come on.
I know. That's the upsetting part.
Listen, you guys got to pretend to enjoy the show, okay? You're on it.
I love it.
Pretend.
I love it. I
Pretend.
love learning about
Sorry, hold on.
sexual
Which smile am I
assault
gonna
and
download?
murder.
Hey, we're past the sexual assault and the murder part, okay? Except
Okay. I'm
until
going
we
with
get to the
Eric's
I
trial.
love learning about failing chicken restaurants. That's good, Pat. That's good, Pat. You're the one with the hair. I see it.
I will say, if you want to watch the Menendez trials, the first one is in its entirety online. You can find all of it. I watched
Why aren't we doing that?
like 5 hours. Do you want to? It's very boring.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 8 hours. Somebody
Let's go.
let's just put it this way: Lyle was on the stand for 9 days. It's an incredibly long trial. Anyway, the brothers' elaborate spending spree was the first thing that caught the eye of the police and started to make them suspect that, hey, maybe we should check these guys out. Zoller decided to re-interview the brothers, starting with Eric. During that interview, Eric expressed frustrations with Lyle, who he thought was spending too much money and was acting, quote, just like my father, but didn't really give up any more information than that. But the new attention on him did seem to freak Eric out a little bit. Eric immediately called his therapist, Jerome Oziel, and the two of them had a session while walking around Beverly Hills. It is reportedly
Sounds
during.
nice.
I mean, you know, you're just walking around having a chat with your soon-to-be disgraced
Imagine,
therapist.
I can't even afford to have a therapist to like talk to me in their own office. Can you imagine? Be like, you come out to my place. We're gonna
Right?
take a walk. You hang out. I'm gonna play tennis,
Yeah,
You
you
hang
hang
out.
out with me.
and we'll chat on my leisure.
Well, at some point, Eric decides to stop, lean on a parking meter, and say, "Well, we did it. We killed our parents," and just
Wow.
confesses to his psychotherapist.
Well, you know,
How's
they have
nonchalant? Well, killed him.
privilege, right? They have privilege.
Yeah, I mean, at
Oh,
this
and
point,
she's asking if it's out of the office, do they still get client privilege? Great question for an American lawyer, Edgy.
the whole
Not for us.
idea of what is privileged in this case will come up, and we will talk about it. I will try to talk about it as fast as I can when we get there. But the long story short is, at this point, yes, this is still privileged. Eric told Azil about the Billionaire Boys Club miniseries and how he and Lyle had watched it together. And after the
loved it.
miniseries, they talked about their shared belief that Jose was planning to disinherit them from the will and how terrible their life was. Spurned on by the miniseries, the brothers told each other that they should just kill Jose. But the problem was Kitty. The brothers didn't really want to kill Kitty, but they couldn't think of a way to kill the father without murdering Kitty. So kind of against what they would how they would further or later characterize their relationship. At this point, they seem to be indicating that Kitty would have been like emotionally devastated without Jose. That they were very still much in love, and that it would have killed her. And they didn't want to do that, but they thought it would be better if they just murdered her with Jose.
It was a sympathy murder.
That's yeah, right, exactly. That's the kind of fucked up logic
it
that they had.
It was for her.
Right.
She'll just be happier if she's dead.
Lyle.
I mean, to be fair, if she had to watch her sons murder her husband, she wouldn't have been happy.
No.
Yeah, that's true.
No. I mean, I feel anyway. I don't want to get into how they should have murdered their parents.
No,
so
I want to know how you think they should have murdered their parents.
Well, firstly,
what's your foolproof
plan? Anyway, moving on. Lyle raced over, or at this point, Ozil stopped Eric from saying anything more and had him call Lyle. Lyle came over and was immediately pissed off.
What a terrible therapist.
Well, I mean, at this point, he just heard about how they killed,
Yeah.
And
he wasn't like, give me that juice, baby.
My understanding is Ozil was kind of like the family therapist, and so they were both his clients, basically. They talked about how they had cleaned up the shotgun casings and didn't have to worry about the fingerprints because it was their own house. And they talked about how once they had finished, they drove Eric's car to Mulholland Drive that goes to the Pacific Ocean, and Eric was too shaken to drive, so he gave directions to Lyle as he drove. They stopped, and Eric waited until the area was clear of cars, and they threw the shotguns into a nearby canyon. They headed for a gas station where they dumped their blood-splattered clothing and shoes into a dumpster along with the shell casings. Then they drove home. They had intended to drive to the Cheesecake Factory. Second time Cheesecake Factory came up to meet up with their friend Perry, but Eric was clearly emotionally distressed, and so they went home to call the police.
Too sad for the Cheesecake Factory.
Now, I do wonder, and I do suspect. Maybe I'll talk about this later. I do wonder. I mean, it was very clear that Lyle was the dominant brother, and it does feel like this was maybe his plan. This whole thing. And they were enacting a Lyle plan. I mean, even in the story that they tell, it's Eric tells Lyle about the abuse. Lyle decides they have to do something about it, And so I wonder how much of that is actually true, and how much Eric was really just going along with what his older brother was telling him to do, and they both kind of get lumped together as this kind of sociopathic entity. But I wonder if anyone has looked into the power dynamics of some serial killers, where there will be a pair of serial killers, and one person will be the dominant and one person will be the submissive one, and that kind of interaction, because it very much feels like that's what's going on here, and that Eric is kind of along for the ride, and Eric may not have wanted to do any of this at all.
No, he just wanted to write about it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, but that's a thing though. Fantasy provides outlets for your emotional places, right? It is true. I mean, I'm not saying that everybody who writes about horrible shit, like, will never do horrible shit. I mean, plenty of people who do write about the terrible shit go on to do it. That's why we have manifestos. But I also think there is a healthy way to channel emotions into something. I mean, anyway, if you guys want to fund our friends' film, please, 1, find us the script, and 2, give us probably like $3,000. I think we could probably shoot in $3,000.
Let's go.
Lyle was understandably furious when he got to Oziel's office and told that, you know, he was angry about the entire confession. He told Oziel that he thought Jose would be proud of him for committing such an effective murder, which is very interesting. Like,
Yeah.
and Oziel explained,
Just wanted to make Papa proud.
yeah, it's so weird. You know, I mean, like, again, it's a very gray area with, because you don't want to blame the victim, but you can't deny that Jose really fucked up his kids. Like, there's no, like, regardless of the level of, like, what kind of abuse he did to them, he fucked up his kids, like, to a certain extent.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I defy you to find parents who didn't.
Well, true, but, like, there are many parents whose kids don't go on to fucking murder them. Like,
Sure.
and
Yeah.
Sure.
and then think that those parents would be proud of the murder.
Sure.
Yeah, that's a special kind of, like,
I mean, if I murdered my parents, I don't think they'd be proud of me, but they're not proud of me for any of the work.
oh, brutal. Not even Weekly Weird, Jim?
No.
Especially not Weekly Weird.
Least
They've
of
never
all
seen
Weekly
it,
Weird.
And also, they don't know about it.
And also, they'll never know.
And I will never tell them.
I can't wait to get what Papa Hickox to call it. Would you smile in your
I would love
mugshot?
that, but he is
Good
asleep.
question.
He's been asleep for 9 hours.
So
Do
Oziel.
they let you smile in a mugshot? They don't let me smile on my
Sure.
driver's license.
Oh, of course
You
they
can
do.
smile in a mugshot.
I'm-
Hell
How
yeah.
come mugshots chiller than licenses?
I don't know.
Stupid.
I don't know.
Give us your mugshot smile right now.
Yeah, go for it. Nice.
Okay. Yeah.
Patrick? Nice.
You gotta do
Beautiful.
toothless, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was nice.
I
Yeah.
might go like,
Oh, you're a little Manson.
yeah. Hey, look at here.
Wow.
How you going?
That was-
Everybody-
Patrick's was real like, there's no way I could have been malicious, and yours was like, I'll do it again.
You think you got me for the right crime? You don't even know. Oziel explained to the brothers that the difference between a crime that takes place in the moment of heated passion, such as during an argument, and a crime committed with a specific goal. He kind of like coached them about what the behavior, which one would be considered like a sociopath. He was like, listen, if you plan this out, you're fucked up. He would later testify in court that the brothers looked at each other and said, we're sociopaths. Lyle then erupted into anger. He threatened Oziel and told Oziel that if he told anyone, that Lyle would kill him too. This would be the ultimate fatal flaw for the Menendez brothers. They should, hey, listen, if you're going, all clients, doctors shit starts to go out the window if your fucking doctor thinks he's gonna die. Like he gets the tattle then, okay? Like that's what he gets to tell on you.
Is that the rules?
Yeah, that is basically the rule. I mean, they would. There's some fine print
good
to
to
it,
know.
but yeah. On November 2nd, the brothers met with Oziel again. Lyle threatened Oziel again, telling him and Eric that he and Eric had considered killing him in order to keep their secret. At this point, Oziel could have reported Lyle and Eric to the police because they had threatened him now twice. And this threat erased all of that patient-therapist shit but he did not. Instead, he was like, I'm going to keep riding this fucker out. I'm going to make notes and recordings of all the sessions. And why he did this? I think maybe he thought he was going to get a book deal later. I think maybe he thought he found him something he could publish in a journal, like some shit like that. So he did not go to the police, even though this is pretty early on, like within 3 months of the murders. But so for the next 3 months, the case basically was kind of cold. They had the police couldn't find any real evidence tying the brothers to the murder. Like, yeah, sure, they spent a lot of money, whatever, but like they didn't have the guns, they didn't have the bullets, they literally just had 2 bodies. They never did any kind of like I said, gunshot analysis. They had nothing. However, they did get a break in the case because of a woman named Judalon Smith, which is a great name to be Judalon, which again, why not? Why be a Judy? Why be a Judith if you could be a Judalon, right? Like, anyway,
get on it, Judy's.
Smith was a 37-year-old woman who owned an audio tape duplicating business. Smith was also Jerome.
The 80s. Mm-hmm. My business is that I take your tape and I put it on a second tape.
She was also Oziel's lover. She told the detectives that Oziel had asked her to eavesdrop on a therapy session he had with the Menendez brothers on October 31st, 1989.
Classic.
Smith told the detectives she overheard a shouting match between Lyle and Eric, in which Lyle shouted, "I can't believe you told them. We've got to kill him and anyone associated with him." According to Smith, Lyle is shouting at Eric.
But
talking about
Smith
Oziel
is also in the room. He's
in
also
front
there?
of Oziel.
In there, I mean, presumably in front of Oziel. Yes.
That's wild.
According to Smith, Eric screamed back, "I can't stop you from what you have to do, but I can't kill anymore." Thank you, PDS Spaghetti, for following.
Well timed.
Right? The screaming.
Oh! Is that how you get around client privilege? Is you just have someone else listen from the next room and then be like, "I heard."
That's right. Apparently. The session ended when Eric ran out of the office sobbing. Smith saw Lyle leave the office, followed by Oziel. Smith then told the detectives that she witnessed Lyle threaten Oziel. And then Smith also said that she heard Lyle say, "I can understand Eric, but he shouldn't have done this." And Oziel asked Lyle if he was threatening him. And Lyle shook his hand and said, "Good luck, Dr. Oziel." Thank you, Brady Bit. Thank you for following me on Instagram. Also, welcome in. On March 8th, 1990, Zoller obtained a search warrant for Oziel's tapes based on the information that Smith had told him. Oziel handed over 17 audio tapes and 7 pages of notes to Zoller and his partner, Linhan. Oziel played portions of the tapes for the detectives, and they finally heard the details of what happened on August 20th, 1989. Afterwards, the tapes and notes were sealed in a police evidence bag and taken to Los Angeles County Courthouse, and a judge would have to rule on whether or not there was patient confidentiality on here. That same day, around 1 p.m., Lyle and his friends decided to go out for lunch. Lyle's friends jumped
to
into
the Cheesecake Factory.
Sure as shit, that's where they were going.
Yes.
But as they were driving down the
These
street,
boys are obsessed.
they love the cheesecake. Guys, what's your favorite Cheesecake Factory item? Let me know in the chat. Chat. Let us know what your order from Cheesecake Factory is, especially after you've murdered your parents. But just down the street, the police were waiting for them. They drove down the street. The police pulled up and blocked their way. Lyle tried to throw the Jeep in reverse, but was blocked by a police van. Moments later, he was pulled out of the car and handcuffed. Initially, there was some
Are the
speculation.
cops allowed to? Are they allowed to stop you from getting lunch? Because that seems.
I
That
mean,
seems like maybe there should be more regulation around that.
I feel like they're not. You can't. You can't detain them.
Let those boys fill their bellies, and then you pick them up.
They swung through Cheesecake Factory before they got back. Dog,
Yeah.
cheesecake sounds so good right now. Get some cheesecake.
Yeah.
Initially, there was some speculation that Eric would try and flee. Like we said earlier, he was in Israel at the time for a tennis tournament. But as one family member said, Eric would follow Lyle to hell, even if it meant leaving heaven to do so. So Eric got back on a flight and flew back and was immediately arrested at Los Angeles International Airport. The brothers still had Daddy's money. So what did they do? They got the best lawyer Daddy's money could buy. And that lawyer's name was Leslie Abramson. Now, Abramson only represented Eric. Technically, there was another lawyer, and I'm spacing on the name. I'm doing her a disservice. She was the lawyer for Lyle. However, it really was the Leslie Abramson show. She was like she was a very famous, flamboyant, high-profile murder lawyer, and she was like kind of the short woman with frizzy hair. She looked like Miss Frizzle. If you look at her look at her in the courtrooms, she looks like Miss Frizzle. She was known for keeping her often very guilty clients away from the electric chair, away from the death penalty. Of her like 15 high-profile murders, she basically defended them away. All but one got off without the death penalty. So she was like known for preventing that stuff. She was very theatrical. She would spar with both witnesses and judges, and she would like she didn't like a ruling. She would like grimace and like in court. She would do a lot of things that like, kind of challenging a judge to hold her in contempt. And like I said, they paid for her $750,000 fee with Daddy's money. The brothers initially did not seem very fazed by this whole turn of events. At their arraignment, they waved at their girlfriends and joked around with each other. Reportedly, Eric nearly burst into a giggling fit when he gave his not guilty plea, because he found that Judge Judith Stein's small stature and tiny glasses and nasally voice, he thought that was all very hilarious, which, I mean, it probably was.
Is it? Let's watch the trial.
I don't think you can see the arraignment. Maybe. Stein wasn't impressed, and the boys were held without bail and charged with first-degree murder with special circumstances, meaning that the death penalty was on the line. But before the trial could even begin, matters of Oziel's tapes had to be solved. Normally this would fall under doctor-client privilege, but because they had threatened Oziel's life, prosecutors argued that all the tapes should be admissible. Obviously, the defense had other thoughts. The fight ultimately made its way all the way through the California Supreme Court. Now, if you think this script is long, this whole saga could go on way longer. I'm just going to say. But eventually it got to the Supreme Court, and where it was eventually ruled that only one tape, which was one of the last tapes, it was like the last tape that he made, which was a summary of the last few sessions.
One where they threatened him?
Yes, exactly. It was the one where they had threatened him, and that was admissible. So that whole process took 2 years. Like, that was a back and that, like,
and they're in prison that whole time.
They are being held in prison this whole time. That the case hasn't even started yet.
Free that whole time. They should have been free to spend their money and murder.
Maybe they should have right, exactly. Maybe they shouldn't have made fun of that judge, because maybe they would have gotten bail then.
True. But,
Uh,
Dio, you don't know how funny she was.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
true.
was
She might have
funny.
been very fun. I did try to look her up because when I first read the name Judith Stein, I was like, was that fucking Judge Judy? It was not. That was her name was Judith Stein.
That would be
or something.
amazing.
I really did. For a second, I thought it was Judge Judy.
If they showed up and they were like, "You're a star,"
Yeah, right.
that's why she pursued a TV career.
During the first years of prison, Eric was reportedly suicidal, actually, after the arraignment, and he was prescribed Xanax for panic disorders. Eric also began receiving visits from a priest, and it is during these visits that allegedly Eric first began to reveal some of the abuse he received from Jose. On the flip side, Lyle seemed more concerned about his restaurant business than his upcoming murder trial.
I bet. Who's looking after Mr. Buffalo while
That's
he's in jail?
exactly right. He would call up the manager of Mr. Buffalo on these long calls, so much that other prisoners started to complain about the length and frequency of his calls to his business. Yes. Perhaps Lyle's lack of concern came from the belief that he would escape. It's a few months.
Escape?
Yes, he thought he was going to escape. Prison guards actually found an escape plan that involved fleeing to South America and then to the Middle East. Yeah.
You're skipping the part where he gets out of prison. What was his plan?
He was going to saw through his ankle chains, which they did find that was what tipped him off, is that he was like almost broke through his ankle chains, and he had drawn a map to what he must have thought was the courtroom, but did not match any of the courtrooms that he was at. So he just like invented a place that he was going to escape from, presumably. He also wrote a 17-page letter to Lyle or to Eric that he promises his younger brother that he would never betray him. He also wrote, quote, "I am not an ordinary person. I do not see things in terms of manslaughter and life terms. I see only win, loss, honor, and dishonor. Dad is watching, and I will not disappoint him a second time, or Mom, by giving up and having their deaths be in vain."
That's true. That would be dishonorable.
Right? Yeah. The people he murdered. He doesn't want to disappoint the people he murdered. That is, I'm just saying. You don't...
If I murder Dad for a shit ton of money, he'll be proud of me. But if I murder him and go to jail... big disappointment.
Yeah, because here's something I want to say. Even if he is a sociopath, which he almost certainly is, right? Lyle almost certainly is. I think Eric is a little gray area, but Lyle certainly is a sociopath.
Eric is a little gray area.
That's what his dad called him. Anyway, yikes. Anyway, there are plenty of sociopaths who have completely normal lives. There are plenty of sociopaths who go through their day-to-day. They know right from wrong. They know exactly how... What is happening?
I'm
Me? Well, and just hits me back. No, there are plenty of sociopaths who can function normally day to day, and like don't know right from wrong and don't murder people. You know, I love this show is the perfect evolution of beard growth. I don't know what that means, but thank you, Polar Nights. Well, that totally derailed me. Anyway, but the belief that you have to honor your father who you murdered, there's some programming happening there. Like,
honorable.
Yeah, honorable. Yeah, okay. Now, while we've already touched on the allegations against Jose, I cannot stress enough the allegations of sexual abuse were first brought to light at the trial. Everyone knew Jose was an asshole, but if the brothers were to believe, he was also a monster. Abramson...
You guys were all like, "Oh, Jim, you don't hate Jose enough," all week last week. You think Jose is a pretty rad guy who's good at business and smart and funny and cool, and we
Yeah,
don't
'cause you
like
said all
that
that.
about you.
Yeah, you said all
but
that.
Look, who's vindicated now? Turns out he probably wasn't. He potentially wasn't sexually abusing his kids.
Yeah,
He
I
was
don't
just
know
a
if I'd go with
normal
possibly.
piece of shit.
Jim, I would hesitate before you say probably or possibly. Okay, there's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of.
There's plausible deniability.
That's right. That's right. Let's hold on before you say that. Anyway,
All
on
right. Okay.
July 20th, 1993, the first trial began. that is a
You're just
sign
stressing
of
how much
things
more
to
shall we
come. Yeah, yeah.
Only at the first trial.
Listen, I will tell you right now, I blow right through the second trial because there's not a whole lot new to say about the second trial. Eric and Lyle were tried together, but each had their own jury. So if evidence was only pertained to one brother, the jury for the
so
other would be
weird.
excluded. Yeah, it is very weird. I had never heard of this
Like
before.
2 jury boxes, 24 people. Half of them have to leave.
I think I'm not. I think so.
Or were 24 people all crammed into one jury box?
I think like based on the
Squished
schedule
in
of the
there.
day, it was
He's
the
guilty
amount of
because it
people.
smells bad. That's so weird.
Yeah, it is
Wow.
very weird. The reason why they did this, they were tried together. It was one setting. It was one group of lawyers. They were all sitting together. But the judge decided in order to save time, that they would do it all together. They would be tried together. Spoiler alert, this case would take 3 years before sentencing. There was no time saved. There is no time saved for this. Now, like I said,
I know, Edgy. He wrote this hungover. This is crazy.
I was not that hungover, actually. You know what my hangover cure is? Like half a pound of cashews right after you drink all that Malort. Anyway, Abramson immediately began to paint these two as young abused children, younger than they were. She dressed them up in sweaters and pastel colors and make them seem like boyish. It helped that both brothers by this point had been 2 years in prison. They had lost weight. They had lost all color in their skin. They were very pale. She was Eric's lawyer predominantly. So she would like hug him and like hold him and caress him and like have like the kind of body language that like an aunt would have with a cousin, like with their nephew, like very much playing into this entire thing. So I have no idea what's happening in chat right now. I'm gonna keep plowing through, guys. Chat is y'all's responsibility now.
I think I'm y'all's dad.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And if you guys murder me, no, I'm gonna be disappointed no matter what you inherit.
But am I in
So,
the will,
chew
Jim?
on that. No, you're not if you're gonna murder me. It's contingent.
It's always never mind. Anyway, Abramson knew that she didn't just have to convince the jury, but she also had to convince the public because court TV was there with a camera and airing the entire fucking thing. Like I said, you can watch this and fuck all little bits of this trial. And let me tell you, I tried, and it is mostly boring. The state's argument was that the brothers were cold, calculating murderers who killed to gain their father's inheritance. At every opportunity, the state reminded jurors that the brothers had initially lied about the crime very convincingly. They had done this whole memorial thing. They put on a huge show for the cops. And now that they could convincingly be lying about the sexual abuse, because all the sexual abuse stuff came up during discovery, during the discovery process. For those who don't know, American law systems, before the case even begins, you have to have a period of discovery where both sides like basically lay out their arguments and what their arguments are going to be, to give each side the ability to prepare their arguments against each other. That's when prosecutors first heard about abuse by Jose. The state's argument, or the defense, never denied that the brothers killed their parents. That was also another shock for the prosecution. Instead, they opted to focus on the reasons why. Now, they couldn't just say Jose and Kitty deserved to die because Jose was a sexually abusive father. Why would Kitty have to die if it was Jose doing that, right?
Great question.
Thank you, Polar Knights, for the follow. Appreciate you. They went a step further. They argued that the brothers felt like their lives were in danger, that they were trying to prove a self-defense argument. And as part...
I love Polar Knights.
Thank you, Polar Knights.
I really do.
Listen, if you want this fat boy to do squats, hit that sub button, baby. I'm just kidding. So because they were doing a self-defense argument, they had to prove a couple of things, right? They had to prove, one, that it was reasonable for somebody to assume that they were in imminent danger if they were in their position. Okay, so that's the burden of proof that the defense have set themselves up with, which is...
Damn.
All right, well...
that means someone's got to take a shot of...
I think he's doing squats
for you, baby.
Our man
boy
squat.
put on squats.
That's not a squat, dude. That's
yeah. I can barely do
not
it.
a squat.
You're supposed to be helping me, Patrick.
That's a man keeling over.
That's right.
I'm gonna help you. Ready?
You sick fuck. Oh my god. Thank you, Polar Knights. Polar Knights, this first one's gonna be for you. Gonna wet the whistle. The second one's gonna be for Patrick. Son of a bitch. Cheers. Polar Knights, thank you for being here.
Cheers, everybody.
That is Malort, by the way, Polar Knights.
If you don't know what that is, look it up. Oh, it's not good. It's especially foul today. Ugh. You know, I'm so glad I got through all of the fucking... I had 3 tall boys of Liquid Death that I got through before I even started talking about the case. And now... I am Norwegian, that is baby milk. Dang. All right, you know what? I'm not even going to argue with it, to be honest. Cheers. Because I don't want whatever you think is harsh. Okay? If that's your response.
I bet it's awful.
There's no way it's good. Anyway. Okay. This will make talking about this good. So yeah.
Sure will.
The burden of proof for the defense was that any reasonable person would feel like their life was in danger if they were these two. While on the stand, Lyle and Eric claimed that 2 weeks before the murder, Eric told Lyle that his father was still abusing him. Lyle who himself claims that Jose had stopped abusing him when he was 8, had apparently continued to abuse Eric from the ages of 6 to 18. He was 18 at the time of the murders. The two allegedly confronted Kitty, and Kitty called the boys liars. She seemed to react in the same way that later cousin Diane would say that she would react to any kind of allegations.
You just gifted Amaranth? Holy shit. Amaranth is now subscribed to DOTV.
Listen, I hope Amaranth shows in. I appreciate her work. I appreciate her hustle more than even her work. That's
So does
amazing. That is
Dave
amazing.
loves Amaranth.
Polar Night, you know what? Fucking fuck, man. You're getting, my God. At this point, Polar Knight's gonna get modded. He's fucking doing the Lord's worth. Amazing. Somebody
hit up T-Pain now.
Yeah, can we get T-Pain in here? Go ahead and just get Critical, get Moisty in here, get Charles. Cheers. That is actually fucking amazing. That's so funny. Godspeed, Polar Knight. Well done. I am in a union, no free labor. That's
No free
right.
labor.
Yes, Polar Night. Hell yeah, brother. Respect it. Cheers. Shout out to all the dock workers for getting what they deserve.
Yeah, get them.
The fuck. Wow. Okay, cool. She comes in during the fucking. That's amazing. That'd be
The
hilarious.
Menendez brothers.
I know. During this, oh my god, where I'm like full on Malort sweating. Oh my god, Amaranth's here. Oh my god. I'm just kidding.
Is this a famous person I should know?
You should look
It
her
sounds
up.
like a spice.
Look her up.
Or
You
like
should look her up.
It sounds like the same kind of liquor that Malort is. Amaranth. It sounds like it's
It
less
does
herbal
kind of,
and
yeah.
unpleasant.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, I wouldn't describe her as unpleasant. That's insane. The two allegedly confront.
Holy shit.
Hell yeah! Get him in here! Get him in here! We're talking about you guys. Oh, Polar Nights.
I love you.
For real, dog. For real, dog. Well done. That is amazing. I might get sued for this entire episode then, but that's okay. I mean, actually,
Worth
you can't slander when you're talking about the truth. Anyway, where was I? I'm still have to pour this shot.
Who knows, baby?
That's right. We were talking about the Menendez brothers. Anyway, long story long, they told Kitty. Kitty got mad, and when they confronted Jose threatened. They allegedly threatened them, saying that what would have to be done have to be done, and that the secret would never leave the family. Lyle and Eric then claimed that they went and decided to purchase the guns, first handguns and shotguns, and kill their parents. Cheers.
But we don't believe that they tried to get handguns. We think they just went and got shotguns.
I'll get to it. I'll get to it later. Again,
Fine.
the problem was Eric's previous confession. He had never told Oziel about any sexual abuse, nor did he tell any of his friends or family. In fact, he had also confessed to Craig, his screenwriting partner. Craig could not verify any story about abuse. Moreover, the prosecution made great pains to show how the brothers were accomplished liars. When the prosecution started their case, they played that 911 call that I played when we first started this episode last week, or the episode last week. And with the context that these guys murdered their parents, like the acting, how Lyle was talking, the whole thing, that phone call becomes a very different thing, right? They called the cops who arrived on the scene, or the prosecution also called the two police officers who arrived on the scene and got on the stand. And according to the police officers on the stand, Lyle and Eric were making a lot of noise, but they weren't really crying. Again, these are the same police officers who decided not to take a fucking gunshot residue test. So, okay. Now they don't believe. Also called to the stand was the boat captain who took Camilla Harris?
Yeah.
It's Camilla Harris. Hell yeah. All right.
It's knockoff.
I need a vice president. That's right. That's not Kamala. That's Camilla. I do need a vice president. Amazing. UE228 Steelworkers Union myself. Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. I really want to know. I'm gonna have to look up Camilla Harris. Thank you again for the gifted sub, Polar Night. That's fucking amazing. But also, this is gonna get sloppier and sloppier as we keep going.
You mean better and better.
Better and better. They also called to the stand, the prosecution, the boat captain who took the Menendez brothers shark fishing the day before the murder. Yikes. He described the family as being split between the parents and the boys, and that Lyle and Eric spent all of their time huddled together in the front of the boat. Abramson tried to make this sound like the brothers being worried that Kitty and Jose were going to kill them and dump them out at sea. Thank you. Thank you, man. I work really hard. basically
Man,
all of
maybe he's a pilot.
who? Polar?
Polar, yeah.
What, and it would
Can't
get
risk
stuck
a
in the
beard.
props?
No, because when you have the oxygen mask, it's got to create a suction. So pilots have to shave.
Interesting. I didn't realize that. They can just do
He gave a
mutton
good
chops?
explanation there. Amazing.
Oh my god.
Listen.
Yeah, I see. All right, okay.
Listen. It's horrible. God damn it. Basically, all of Eric and Lyle's friends turned on them and testified for the prosecution. The betrayal was deep. But perhaps the greatest betrayal came from Craig Signorelli, co-writer
Craig!
of Friends. Craig, Eric's
what?
co-writer. Yes! The co-writer of Eric's script, Friends, betrayed him. Craig described how Eric had confessed to him about the murder, but never mentioned any kind of abuse as far as the reason. Oddly, the judge would not allow the script to be used as evidence, claiming that it had been written too long before the murders to be relevant, which I think was a huge blunder. The star witness for the prosecution was obviously Dr. Jerome Oziel. However, he was far from a credible witness. Just days before he got to the stand, his license was revoked for having engaged in a sexual relationship with a client and a business relationship with another client.
Wow.
Yeah, Oziel was definitely not a good guy. Oziel claimed that the brothers wanted to kill Jose because he was dominating their lives, and Kitty couldn't be left alive as a witness. He mentions the disinheritance as another reason for why they would want to murder Jose.
You're not allowed to murder someone because they don't want to give you money.
No, you're not allowed to murder somebody, Jim.
There's defense if they're abusing you or if they're threatening you. There are reasons that you could.
Yeah,
but if they're like, I'm gonna take you out of my will, you're not allowed to kill for that. That's not a defense. That's not a defense.
That's exactly why he's a prosecutor. This is the prosecutor's witness, not the defense witness, right?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's been a lot going on.
There's so much happening.
You're saying
I get it.
a lot of words, and honestly, most of the words are boring.
Fuck you, Jim. This is very fascinating. My true crime heads understand.
Where are the ghosts?
Well, the ghosts of Jose and Kitty still stalk the lands of Beverly Hills.
That's what I want.
You can still hear Jose in the Beverly Hills
from the 80s.
yeah, exactly. You can still hear Jose in a dark night screaming at his sons, "Fucking hit the tennis ball! Hit the ball!" Oh,
find me a new Kajagoogoo.
Jefferson Starship. Get it. Sign it. Who will be the next Menudo? No. There's no fucking ghost, Jim. It's a true crime story. It's really happened. Anyway, Abramson tried to tear Oziel apart, bringing up the affair and the scandal and all of that. But he, for the most part, kind of stood his ground. And then nothing really, she wasn't really able to discredit what he was saying, just his character. When it came time for the defense's case, Abramson's initial tactic was to overload the jury with character witnesses. She originally wanted to call 90 people just for the defense to testify on behalf of the brothers. People who had almost no connection to the case. But thankfully the judge was like, no, fuck that. We're not doing this. Really, the only people that anyone wanted to hear from were the brothers themselves. Lyle testified for 9 days, in which he accused Jose of molesting him between the ages of 6 and 8. He also admitted that he had molested Eric when his brother was just 5, as a kind of abuse begets abuse situation. And that Kitty abused him when he was 11 and 12. Lyle also had to account for a bribe that he made to his girlfriend, where he had tried to get her to say on the stand that Jose had made a pass at her. So clearly there was some shady shit Lyle was trying to do to further their case. But truly, it was Eric whose testimony was the most harrowing. He recounted all of this alleged abuse that he suffered from Jose, tearing up in many moments. In other moments, he looked very like emotionally deranged. And while his portrayal of abuse is it's very like moving and very hard to listen to. Like I started listening to I listened to about 3 hours of it today, and it is grim. Yeah. I thought I do research for this show, Jim.
I would never listen to 3 hours
you.
of people talking.
I mean, listen, it was, I mean...
You're just a hero. I'm just saying you're a hero.
Thank you.
I respect you. I appreciate the work you put in.
I want the show to be good. I want people to get the facts, damn it.
You deserve to have all the people who aren't here subscribe to you.
Yeah, all the amaranths here,
That's
yes.
right.
Yeah.
Eric volunteered, I'm gonna get real gross here for a second. I'm gonna relate some of it. I was gonna play a video of it, but I think I'll just say it. He recounted all of the abuse, and while his portrayal of abuse is certainly moving, it also is not very believable in some places. For example, he, in his testimony, kind of offered up this story about how, like, he would perform oral sex on Jose. And one thing he would do to try to make the act more pleasurable for him would be to put cinnamon in his father's coffee so that the act would taste better.
Does that work? Is that real?
I don't know. Do your own experiments at home. But it's a weird story because presumably cinnamon is very noticeable even in coffee. And like...
Yeah.
Jose would know that was happening.
Have you guys ever put a little cinnamon in the coffee
Pineapple,
grounds?
Exactly.
I've
done that. Yeah.
I've done it.
It is noticeable.
Notable. Yeah.
It's
I've
I've totally
cinnamon
done that.
coffee.
Yeah,
Flavored
right.
coffee. Not what I want to be drinking in the morning.
Cookies telling his wife. Ladies, little hint. Or fellas, little hint. Or they, thems, little hint. Anyway. Anybody who's sucking dick, little hint. And anyway, so
cinnamon on that shit.
Yeah, it's a little weird. Like, that story is fucking horrible if true, but also it's hard to believe it's true, right? Like, and on cross-examination, Eric was way less effective than he was during the initial defense questioning. He answered many questions with "I just don't remember," and prosecutors would catch him in the biggest lie during this cross-examination. This has to do with the guns. As part of their testimony, Eric and Lyle claimed that they originally attempted to purchase handguns, but when they got to the store, the clerk told them they had to wait 15 days for a cooling off period. So they decided to buy... God damn.
Very sweet, Polar Knights.
Thank you, Polar Knights. You're a hero. Also, Nightwing is a good friend of the fucking show, so what a good person to deserve it. Does he deserve it as much as Amaranth? Probably not, but like, you know.
Nah, I've never seen Nightwing's titties. No.
That's true. I've never seen him do squats. So, cheers. Yeah, 2-week cooldown. Shotgun has no waiting period. Yeah, that's exactly what it was saying. So they decided to buy shotguns instead, but prosecutors pointed out that the store they bought their guns from, the Santa Monica Big Five, hadn't carried handguns for 3 years by the time of the murders, and caught Eric on the stand saying that. I mean, they still sold shotguns, but they didn't sell handguns anymore. They stopped carrying handguns in California because of the 15-day grace period.
Oh, wild.
Yeah.
People were like, if I have to wait 15 days, I will simply not purchase a handgun.
That is ultimately what ended up happening. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Well, because the point of the 15-day cooling off period was if you're pissed off and you buy a gun to go murder somebody, you had to wait 15 days.
Surely most people who are buying guns aren't doing it while they're pissed off. Surely most people are
People
like, oh, I'm gonna
do
buy
get
a
pissed
gun.
off and go to buy a gun. Yeah, that
Yeah,
happens.
some of them, but some of them must be.
Sure, and they still buy a handgun, but again, the demand for handguns, I guess, goes way down.
That's
also,
wild.
again, if you can buy one kind of gun, if you're just interested in shooting guns, one, a shotgun is way more fun to shoot than a handgun. Let's be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And two, why not just get the one you can get now, as opposed to the one you have to wait 15 days?
Suppose, I suppose.
Yeah. So anyway, plus, never mind. Anyway, the Eric really didn't have a good answer for this and kind of floundered it and was really caught in the lie. After the brothers' testimony, the defense put up a series of psychologists to confirm the brothers were indeed abused. They basically put expert after expert up to say, yes, they're suffering from PTSD or various kinds of traumas from a victim. To the prosecutors looked at this and were just like, nobody's going to believe that they were abused anyway. We're not even going to field our own experts to rebut, which was a huge mistake. That would later come back to bite them. By the time we got to closing arguments, prosecution was given a huge victory by the judge. Congratulations, Jim, for saying fuck off. Judge Weisberg told the juries that the defense hadn't met the standard for proving that a reasonable person would have been afraid for their lives if they were in the position that the brothers were in. That the defense basically had not proven that Jose and Kitty were a real threat to them. So that means the jury could not acquit these two. Like, they could not say they were innocent. So they could, however, consider a manslaughter verdict. They could consider.
They have? Do you know if they could still do jury nullification? Could they be like, they are guilty, but we don't believe this crime is? I mean, it would be wild to do in this scenario, but I'm just curious.
So they can, because will be, as you'll find out in the second case, the same jury in California decides the sentencing. So they could conceivably do that.
Sure.
Absolutely. So the four choices they got were brothers guilty of first-degree murder with special circumstances. They find the brothers guilty of second-degree murder, find them guilty of voluntary manslaughter or involuntary manslaughter. Lyle and Eric each face sentences on 3 counts.
Involuntary seems like it would be a hard thing.
Right. Like, whoops, this gun, bang. Yeah, like it's not.
Oh, no.
Right. They were charged with the murder of Jose, the murder of Kitty, and the conspiracy to commit the murder. After 16 days of deliberation, Eric's jury, because remember there are 2 juries. What is Polar Knights talking about? I'm so confused.
I think Polar Knights is trying and succeeding at derailing.
Yeah, you're doing a great job, Polar Knights. Two juries, right? The first jury, Eric's jury, after 16 days, come back and say, we are deadlocked. They couldn't decide on an agreement of the counts. Oh my God, yep, that's right. Polar Knights, how dare you. 8 days later, Lyle's jury followed suit. Weisberg immediately calls a mistrial in both cases. And there would be another trial. Okay?
Of course.
There's some legal maneuvering in between the 2 trials, but we'll skip that. The second trial begins August 1995, a full 6 years after the murder. This time, there will only be 1 jury. This time, no TV cameras. This time, new prosecutors who were smart enough to rebut the psychological claims and abuse experts with their own psychologists and experts. This time, Oziel would not testify because he looked kind of like a shitty guy. They would just use the tape and play it in court and let the tape speak for itself. The new trial lasted until March of 1996. This time, it took the jury only 4 days to convict Eric and Lyle of first-degree murder. During the penalty phase, the same jury decided that they would be sentenced to life in prison. The second trial, like I'm glossing over it because not a lot of new stuff happened. Some notable stuff that they weren't allowed to say in the first trial, like in the first trial, you weren't allowed to say sociopath. In
Wait,
this trial,
really?
yeah, because the judge ruled that, and this is the same judge, mind you. The judge in the first trial, the same guy, thought that sociopath would influence the jury negatively against the brothers by using that term, and then in the second trial, obviously that was allowed. Can I start over again? No, God, no. You would go back to next week. We'll start at next week.
Go back to next week, Dio.
Yeah.
Next week.
Go back to next week. That's right. Go back to last week. After they were sentenced, the brothers were housed in separate facilities to serve out their time. Both were considered maximum security inmates, and they were kept from normal prison populations. They remained separated until February 2018, when they were both held at Richard J. Donovan Correctional Facility, but in separate units. Yeah, they didn't see each other. They weren't held together for a long time. Reportedly, like their various wives and family members, all say that the other inmates think they're rich assholes and they hate them.
Sure.
Great. Correct.
Accurate, yeah.
More recently, allegations that seem to prove parts of the brothers' account have come to light. In 2023, Menudo member Roy Rosello, Patrick, if you would.
Roy Rosello.
There you go. Thank you. Came forward. Yes. Came forward to say he was drugged and R-worded by Jose on 2 occasions when Jose was with RCA. Separately, a letter from teenaged Eric to a family member that includes the admission that he is being assaulted had come to light. And, as Patrick will talk about, as recently as yesterday, this case has gotten way has come back into the public light. You want to talk about that now, Patrick?
Sure. Why not? Hold on, I gotta bring it up.
Bring it up.
Now you're starting to sell me on Jose not being a good guy again.
A little bit.
Yeah, right?
So yeah, LA prosecutors are now reviewing the evidence that Dio just talked about. LA County DA George Gascon said during a news conference that the brothers have asked the court to vacate their conviction. There's no question that they committed the murder still, but the office is now reviewing the evidence that Dio mentioned to decide on whether it warrants resentencing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see. Their attorney, Cliff Gardner, said that given today's very different understanding of how sexual and physical abuse impacts children, both boys and girls, and the remarkable new evidence, which is the letter,
Yeah.
they think that resentencing is the appropriate response.
What?
So.
Resentencing to what?
Well, that would be... Well, no.
He said basically they've served 30 years in prison. That's enough time.
Oh, he wants to let them go.
Yeah.
He wants,
Yeah, ultimately it's about letting them go. I mean, they have served over 30 years in prison.
Mm-hmm.
And like so that
and it's not like they have more parents to murder. You know?
Right, which is like what the family, their argument is.
Eric's married. He's got some in-laws.
But how rich are they?
True.
Their lawyer you said is Cliff Gardner?
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine gardening cliffs? That sounds complicated.
Okay.
I feel like if the guy's a cliff gardener, then he's seen some stuff. He's putting the work in.
Anyway, however, if these allegations against Jose end up corroborated, it doesn't change the simple fact that these two men, Eric and Lyle Menendez, are murderers. They killed their parents, right? There's no heroes in this story because, in my opinion,
What about Kitty?
We'll get there. Both accounts present two sides of a sad reality. There was little love in the Menendez family. Jose was ruthless, aggressive. He was an asshole. He cheated on his wife. God, fuck you, Golden D.
Yeah,
cheated on his wife and at least verbally abused his children. At the very least, he abused them the way a insanely perfectionist father would. Those children grew up to be emotionally volatile, rich kid assholes who believed they could get away with murder. Maybe Kitty was the only one innocent in the story, unless you believe Lyle. But at the very least, she stood by while a man verbally abused her two children for 20 plus years. So...
Look, but we talked about this last week. She probably had seen Whiplash. She was probably like, look, this is...
the movie that came out in 2014, I believe.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. She was like, I've
20-ish world, yeah.
I've seen J.K. Simmons whip that boring kid into a star. And I know that that's what it takes to get these kids to be,
in reality...
They're never going to sign the next Menudo if they don't take some lashings.
Well,
true.
That's
how the Jackson 5 got so good.
Oh,
that's
God.
right.
Yeah, you're right.
That's right.
The Joe Jackson model.
Nothing ever came poorly
out
of
the Joe Jackson model of parenting.
Yeah, that's right.
It works.
Abuse your children and they become monsters. Yes.
With any of the Jacksons.
Least of all, Tito.
Perfectly well adjusted them.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think no matter who you believe, the Menendez family was broken long before August 20th, 1989. And that is the end of the Menendez brothers, guys.
No fucking way. Dio!
Guys!
Yeah, dude, you did it.
It was like only 2.5 hours, okay? That was
good stuff.
All right, we got through it. I admire you, Americans. You have the friendliest people. 300 million to choose to live together. Yeah, we don't choose.
This is both Menendez streams. The Golden D said there are no two words more harmful in the English language than good job. What about shotgun murder? Pretty harmful.
Yeah, that's pretty hot. Drink some of this now, my lord. Oh boy. Thank you. We're going to be shifting to scotch whenever somebody does that now. Because that's all I have left in front of me.
Technically, it's not more.
And I think I deserve a scotch after finishing that shit. Lead is not good. Lead is not good for you. Got it. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that they... I don't know. Do you think they were lying? Do you guys think that they were... just coming at it was just a defense?
Man,
hard to...
I was semi-sympathetic for them after watching the Netflix show, and now after watching DOTV, after staring at these two motherfuckers' smiles for the last 2 hours, no, I'm not sympathetic towards them.
I mean,
Edgy says she's gonna watch the trial. I'm with her. Let's do it. Let's start it right now. It's 5 hours. Let's go.
I mean,
How dare
did
you.
pull up the clip of Lyle talking about the abuse on the stand. I did not play it, but I do have it queued up. If y'all want to see that, we can play that. You know, I will give you the warning that it is brutal.
Polar Nights. I'm probably older.
Yes, I knew that.
But if y'all want to see it, I can pull that up. Hold up. Shooby doo wop doo wop boo. So yeah, this is.
I mean, I'm inclined to think that it was all fabricated, but that's because, you know, Jose seems like a mensch.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Taking a bold stance here.
God.
All right.
I can't wait for your opinions on OJ when we get
Oh
to
my
it.
God, I can't wait to get to OJ.
And how soon after hearing that your brother was arrested
This is the older one.
did you
No, this is
decide
Lyle. This is Eric.
to leave
Harrison.
Israel and come back to the United States?
Immediately.
You can tell
And
because
did you
his hair doesn't
expect
look
that
fake.
when you came back, you would also be arrested?
Yes.
Did you understand there was a warrant out for your arrest?
Yes, I did.
And did you understand you'd be arrested for the same thing your brother was being held on?
Yes.
Did you ever consider during that period of time running away?
No.
Did you consider hiding?
No.
Did you consider fighting extradition from either Israel or England?
No, I didn't want to fight extradition
Why?
because I wanted to be back with my brother.
Why? Mr. Menendez, you've heard the testimony of your brother that you and he killed your parents on August 20th, 1989. Did you not?
Yes, we did.
And what do you believe was the originating cause of you and your brother ultimately winding up shooting your parents?
Me telling.
You telling what?
Me telling Lyle that,
You telling Lyle what? Was it you telling Lyle about something that was happening?
my dad.
Okay.
My dad.
Your Honor, can I ask a leading question?
If you don't ask my dad.
Wait 1 second, Mr. Menendez. Okay, let me ask.
No, he was in the process of answering, so there's no need to ask him.
Can you answer the question?
Yes.
Okay, it was you telling Lyle what?
My dad had been molesting me.
And
God damn it! Why did you
did
make
you
that
want
joke,
something
Polar Knights,
from
at
your
that
brother?
moment?
Is that
I
why you
started
told
laughing.
him?
I wanted to stop.
Were you
Laughing at
seeking
the
help
wrong
from your
time.
brother?
Yes.
And when you were in Israel in 1990, did you feel that seeking help from your brother was why your brother was in jail?
Yes.
So yeah, you know, you kind of could get that's the initial reaction, and it's hard to say, right? It's kind of sticky. It's kind of hard to figure out. I don't know. I look at that and I can't tell what if he's being truthful or not. You know, it's hard, and when you're dealing with somebody who's potentially like, you know, a sociopath, they are very good at well, mostly it's psychopaths who are good at mimicking emotions. You know, so yeah, it's tough. Further along, further along in this, he talks about the cinnamon incident. It's not great. Cinnamon Dad. Listen,
Cinnamon.
Dad got me right as he's talking about the abuse, and I can't wait for that to be a clip. Anyway. God, can you imagine the day they're all out of cinnamon? How upset he really was. But yeah. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to tell. Anyway, should we open up the lines, guys?
Oh
Heck
God,
yeah.
yes. Polar Nights, call us.
Oh my
Yeah, give
God,
us a
right?
call.
Guys, if you don't already know, this is the Weekly Weird, and this is a call-in show, in fact. So, feel free to call in. Let us know what you think. Do you think their sentences should be reduced? Do you think they made some bullshit up? Don't want to live with Cinnamon Dad.
Birdshot was the wrong call, you know?
Right.
Birdshot is definitely the wrong call if you're trying to murder somebody.
For real. What would you use to flavor the coffee? What would you hope to make the semen taste better? I can't help but laugh. Are you pineapple? Are you more a cinnamon person? Asparagus for you adventurous people?
For you freaks
out there?
You fucking weirdos. Oh, I'm certain there are inconsistencies everywhere, going all directions. That's true. What are we talking about right now? Golden D, you missed the whole cinnamon talk, didn't you? And I don't want to talk about it anymore. So, you know.
Just put cinnamon in your coffee. She'll thank you for it.
Yes, she'll thank you later. Cinnamon in your coffee and pineapple.
Have we
in the
confirmed
morning.
that that's real? Is that accurate?
I don't know.
Because they also didn't know when that gun.
I don't want to give
store stopped
Google
selling
that search.
handguns. You know,
Yeah, right.
just taking these guys' words for it.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. Anybody out there can confirm? What do you like your partner to eat? Local hot talk. That's right, Polar Nights. Call it up.
Cookies, that's mustard.
No mustard, no coffee drink ever after that.
Yeah.
Oh. I don't know if I would want
Wow.
the flavor of mustard in that business, in that area. Oh!
No, you want that bright green relish.
We got a caller. I'll give you 3 guesses to see who it is.
Call from
Papa TV.
Of course.
to accept, press 1. To send
You're on the air. You're on the air. Oh, I'm on the air twice.
Oh.
Oh. They're watching me. I could hear me.
Anyway, nice to talk to you. Good, great show. Having a good night. Bye.
Fuck yeah. Awesome.
Thank you, Papa TV.
You've scared this man. I'm pretty sure he thinks that you've planned out his murder.
I don't know what the fuck that was. Have a great night, everybody. All right. Thanks for the call. The next president of the United States. That's right. 2024 Papa TV.
Write them in.
Write them in, guys. Get those write-ins. Just put Papa TV. They'll have to figure out who you're talking about.
They'll know.
They'll know.
Yeah.
Guys, the lines are open. We're here for you. Patrick's here
Colin,
for you. Look at
tell
him.
us how you would.
I'm especially here for you.
Who's your favorite Menendez brother?
That's right. Are you Team Lyle or Team Eric?
And hey,
What's your
if
favorite Menudo song?
I actually really want to know that. And hey, international audience, if you're in the Discord, drop into. We'll figure it out, right? We can talk.
Yeah, we can talk to you in
Can
the
we?
Discord.
Get in the Discord, yeah.
What?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll add you to the call.
It'll fuck up the pictures and everything. Look, see?
Yeah.
He just redacted us.
Turn into gray squares. Who cares?
That's right.
Oh my god.
Man. Some of the watching the Netflix show though, some of the things that the brothers said that Jose did with them was just some awful stuff though. Like the names of things, like the whole oral sex thing. Eric said was called knees. That's what he would call it, knees. When they were done with their tennis matches, they had to go take showers together with him. And that he was so worried about Eric being gay and getting AIDS in the 80s that he would have Kitty check his penis for blisters and such. These are all claims. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not, for my own mental health, didn't get too deep into the intricacies. I did watch, in that clip that we started watching, he does run down the, like, 4 versions. But I don't think he had the thing, I think that was a movie invention, the knees thing, or that was something that came up later. Because in the...
Well, those sick fucks.
Yeah, because it was like... Because he was like, it was rough, regular,
rough sex,
nice. Yeah. It was nice sex, rough sex. And then it might have been knees was the other one. It's all weird. It's all gross. Don't like it.
Yeah.
Don't
It's all very bad. Yeah. They also brought up a toothbrush, which that's all you need.
Yes.
Well,
that was
to brush your teeth.
Also part of the Lyle testimony.
I've got something disappointing for you.
Yeah. It wasn't the teeth
it's
they were
not
brushing.
about dental hygiene.
No.
What?
No.
I think Lyle said that, or Eric said.
Chili tea. What the fuck? What are we talking about here?
Like making tea out of.
Are
like,
we
chili
still
peppers?
talking about like flavoring semen? Because we're going off the rails on that.
Yeah, now it's getting wild. Listen, if your girl is into spicy chili tea. But yeah.
Make it a challenge.
Make it, yeah. I think pineapple is the standard semen flavor. You know. The standard aperitif for semen. Well.
Oh damn.
What?
Last night on DOT.
Oh, I know. I saw it.
Oh
dude.
my god.
I hate you guys. I love you, but I also hate you. If you want this oh no. Oh god. Hold on. How do I?
Both hands in the air, arching your back.
Listen, I never said it would be beautiful to watch me squat. Never said that one time.
There it is. Look at
Fat
this.
boy to do squats. Hit that sub button, baby. I'm just kidding. I should have committed to the fact that I was kidding. So because they were doing a self-defense argument, they had
Sure,
to
you could have
prove
leaned
a
on
couple
that.
of things,
You did
right?
front with it.
They had to prove one.
I tried to give myself an
It was
out.
reasonable for somebody to assume that they were in imminent danger if they were in their position. Okay, so that's the burden. of
God, I
proof
sound
that
like
the
such a
defense
dick.
have set themselves up with, which is.
I mean,
just the face when I
say
see it. Just the face when I see it.
That means someone's got to take a shot of.
I think he's doing squats
for you, baby.
Our
The
man
boy
squats.
brought
That's not a squat, dude. That's,
I can barely.
Pat calling him out.
I mean,
Fucking Patrick
that's
selling my ass
That's
out.
keeling over to
here.
vomit, dude. That's exactly what vomiting
Selling
looks
my
like without
ass
the vomit.
out. God damn it. A2
It looked
Patrick.
and sounded just like puking to me.
Found a smoky chili infused tea not too long ago. Ladies, stand down. The guys are old. Please don't kill them by talking about flavors.
Yeah. I'm old. I don't like flavors.
I like flavors.
I like paste. Nutritional paste.
Oh.
How the?
I want Squats for Daddy to show up. Thank you
Roll
so
up.
much for the tier 1 gift.
Your use of
Nights.
Twitch search is amazing.
Yeah, Polar Knights is like the hero we deserve.
Squats for Daddy's only got 20 followers.
That's upsetting. Oh my god, we're getting another call. Oh my god.
Oh shit.
We're getting another call, guys.
Call from
Papa TV.
One more time.
to
Because
accept,
we needed
press
the
1.
sequel.
To send a voicemail.
You're on the air.
Hey.
Hey.
Cheesecake Factory.
Cheesecake Factory.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, what's your favorite dish?
Yeah, what's your favorite dish in the Cheesecake Factory?
Oh, that's all garbage. But they didn't actually become a chain until like around 92. So in 89 there was only the Cheesecake Factory was pretty much confined to like the one place that the Menendez brothers used to frequent.
Oh, so they were going to
probably
like the
was
Cheesecake Factory.
The original, the OG.
So, the original, the OG, yeah. So they probably had better food then.
Did they? You think so?
Plus, they'd let
Maybe.
18-year-olds drink.
That's true.
Yeah.
They were. I mean, honestly, that
too.
was the real thing.
Yeah.
But was their menu as extensive? That's the real question.
And was there like wild mix of styles already locked in?
Right.
You know?
Right.
Right. Did they have glam burgers back then?
Is that a thing?
That's
I
a funny
wouldn't know.
thing. I'm looking at
They
the
were
menu,
way
man.
because I was in Chicago and
Right.
didn't matter.
And you weren't murdering your parents at the time.
No,
That's
I was
right.
taking care of a 32-year-old at that time.
A 32-year-old.
Yeah,
At 1989.
a 32-year-old. So, according to two out of three people on that show, certain sociopath.
I was not 32 in 1989.
You're a time traveler?
I
Dio?
guess I was.
That is amazing.
89. 89.
I wasn't 32.
In 89.
I was 2, but not
Yeah,
32.
I was taking care.
You said
taking
2.
care of a certain
I see.
2-year-old.
We all heard 32-year-old, so
Yeah.
that's on
Plus,
you.
Dio, plus your brother, who's 30 years older than you.
That's right. That's right. My older brother, senior TV.
Your doppelganger.
Yeah.
Your
Oh
your
no, I killed him.
prototype well, we won't talk about
All
it.
right. Is that it? I'm pressing the Papa TV button. What's that? We good? We got it?
My takeaway is that he'd have the chicken taquitos at Cheesecake.
I know, right? That's all I need to
Yeah.
know. I got cheesecake, remove the flavor of cinnamon, makes sense. See, that's what Polar Night says. Anyway.
There you go.
Thank you for calling. You got anything else for us?
Yeah, it's all garbage anyway.
Oh, he was looking up the menu. Got
sure
it. Yep.
I've been there to the one in Skokie when they opened it up.
Shout out
And,
Scottsdale, Illinois.
Yep.
Sorry,
talking
Dio,
about
did you
like-
think maybe it was a different Skokie?
Skokie, Illinois. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What
Yeah, it
other
could've been-
Skokie is there? Come on.
Okay, I believe that's
Name
right.
me Name me a Skokie, New York. Come on.
Yeah. Name 3 Skokies, Dio. Name 3 Skokies.
That's right.
Fiendishly looking to see if there's another Skokie.
Me too. There's not.
There's not. All right.
It
well,
is
you know
literally,
what?
yeah.
I've been moving all day. Don't get my dander up. All right.
All right. Well, my finger's hovering around the hang up button, so I'm kidding.
So is mine.
That was good. That was good.
Thank you for calling in.
Thank you for calling in.
I had a student last semester who told me that I looked like Tim Allen, and I was very offended.
You were like,
Yeah.
Yeah. I said,
But did you go afterwards? Go. Tool time. That's right. We should just resurrect Tool time for Twitch and just do a Tool
Great.
time. Oh my God.
Got the power tools.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, guys, any more?
I just got a reciprocating saw a few weeks ago.
Well, fuck
Super
yeah.
good purchase. Yeah. Highly recommended.
Mm-hmm.
I was, it's, sometimes I see you play video games, Dio.
Oh yeah.
And there's like
I've seen that
there's
too,
a
yeah.
What days
level
do I play
design
video games?
thing.
What days do you see me play video games?
Tuesdays, Thursdays,
Mhm.
sometimes Sundays in the morning.
Those are-
Not Friday nights because we do in this baby.
That's correct.
There's a level design bit where it's like it's you'll be able to get so far and you'll be able to see things, but you can't get to them because you don't have like the jump boots or whatever. And real life is like that too. There's like so many projects that I got to a point where I could go farther if I had a reciprocating saw, and then I was like, I don't need to do that. And then I got a reciprocating saw because I had to for a project, and then I got to go back and finish all those other little projects I could have done if I'd had a reciprocating saw. Right through them,
Nice.
It's like I'm opening up the new parts of the level, like I'm the squirrel with a new kind of gun or whatever,
What brand did you get? Did you go Ryobi or did you?
It's a Makita. I bought it off Craigslist.
Say
'Cause
reciprocating again.
I don't have brand new reciprocating saw money. I've got reciprocating. Reciprocating.
One more time. Deep into the microphone.
Reciprocating.
Ooh. That had some cinnamon in it. Ooh.
If you look up reciprocating saw attachments on Etsy, they are all sex toys.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Sometimes you just gotta listen. Sometimes the project is your significant other. And that's what the
Sometimes you gotta get in there, man.
That's what matters,
right.
yeah.
Tingly. All right. Well,
Edgy wants to see more titties.
Are we gonna see titties again? I mean, I'm trying to see if there's a way I can do that without breaking TOS.
You got this. I know. You know how to do this, right?
How's that?
There you go, Jim. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. Invite Aunt Amaranth. There we go. That's right. Yeah, but she's not going to have a camera on.
Here. Oh, wait. I just found a picture of a pair of tits. Hold on.
No, I got this.
You got this?
I think I got this. I gotta make it work. You want to see some titties? You gotta work, bitch. Here we go.
Ooh, you got them pierced.
Yeah, Edgy.
There we go. There's some titties.
Oh,
there, yeah. I see a nice pair.
Yeah, I see a couple
That's
there.
some great tits.
Yeah, here's some.
That's
Here's a
tits.
pair of tits.
Nice pair of tits.
Nice.
Classic.
Oh, they're super spicy. I think these two are spicy. Those are the ones. That's right. That's right. This has now become the tit stream. Shout out to Polar Knights for the gifted subs and for making this the tit stream. A bit yellowy. That's true. More. Listen. Here's a great tit. Okay. That's a great tit.
Could you play the song?
Hell yeah. I mean, I hope.
Not a great song.
Thank you, Polar Nights. Yeah, great hit, but poor song.
Yeah.
Listen here, Birdie. You need a little work on the old musical number.
Yeah. It's real one note.
It's true. Not even a single threat. It's exactly what a tit sounds like. The siren's call. Them fuckers are loud. That is true. Here, I can turn it down for y'all. Oh. Well, this
is lovely.
This is what the show becomes at the end.
You know what I like is a chickadee. Similar aesthetic, but cuter call. Also nostalgic for me from growing up in the Northeast.
By the way, Dio, Borealis totally means northern.
Thank you. I thought that's why I figured. That's why I figured. Yeah, thanks.
Good fact check. 2 hours later.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad. Well, listen, I needed closure on that because I was like, yeah, doesn't Borealis mean like up there? Because it's not the Aurora. What's
Let's do a kookaburra.
Are we just doing? Is this just now bird?
Bird songs, yes.
Yeah, bird song stream.
Yeah,
Colin, if you've got a request for a specific bird song,
I clearly do not know how to fucking spell kookaburra. It started with a C.
A classic.
That's a freak right there.
It's funny because it makes the noise that I think a monkey makes.
That's true. Mika's requesting a mockingbird or a purple finch, and Edgy's referencing a bird called Hedatus, saying that it's the worst bird.
The worst sounding bird, or just the worst bird?
I think worst sounding bird. The worst bird is Kyle.
Bird?
He lives outside my house. Yeah, he throws rocks at my windows.
That guy's a dick.
Yeah,
You're
real
on a
asshole.
first name basis with it though, so.
Well, yeah. You gotta know thy enemies.
I want
smart man.
Sounds of the purple finch. Bird is the word.
Sing for us, Perpy.
Nobody wanted to see a booby. You're so right.
Oh, good call, Dave.
For a tit show, I could be watching Skinamax. All right, well, you know, gross. But for a tit show, you could just use your phone to get on the internet.
What? Where? Where on the internet?
You could look up Amaranth. She's got great content for that.
You know what?
Is that like cinnamon?
Amaranth. Yeah, Dave, were you here when Amaranth?
You ever put Amaranth in your coffee?
Subbed.
That's true. Amaranth has subbed to DOTV.
Oh, there it goes. That bird was not singing for a long time. On the safest search, please.
Yeah, can I get less safe on the search, please? Guys.
I want to hear this Hidata.
I know we don't. Yeah, we'll do the Hidata, but I know that we don't know how to end this show. So, but we have to figure it out.
We end with a ton of bird song.
Oh, you're right. This thing?
Every
this
week,
fucking weird looking thing?
Oh, is that what you're talking
Look
about,
at that
Edgy?
piece of shit. What is that thing?
Fucking asshole.
Oh yeah, I hate that.
I could do that bird call.
Yeah, Dave's got Hidata blood in him.
I feel like I do a better Hidata call than the Hidatas do.
That's right.
I found my mating call. That's right. Well,
here's how we end it. Hey, if you guys haven't joined the Discord, please do so, because tomorrow at 3 p.m. U.S. Central Time, we're going to be watching a scary movie. We're doing it almost every day this month.
True.
So
what time
stop
is that
on
in
by.
South Africa, Patrick?
That's 10 p.m.
PM, you sure?
Yes,
God,
Jim. I'm very sure.
Cool.
It's weird to see Jim do it to other people. It's weird to watch it happen to two other people. It's more like a screaming goat. Thank you. I take that as a compliment. It's true. We are watching. You batch. Guys, we are watching horror movies all during this spooky season. We're having a lot of fun doing it. You can join the Discord and listen in as we talk over your favorite movies.
We rudely interrupt.
Rudely
disrespect.
ruin movies that you cherish and love.
Ask Dave.
Just ask Dave. Yeah, exactly. He's a survivor. The other things going on later. Next week, unfortunately, we won't have Jim here for Weekly Weird. However, we will be doing an interactive episode with you guys. We will be doing a serial killer tier list, both real and imaginary serial killers. So if you want somebody on that list, let us know in the Discord, in the suggestion box. And then we will also... we're not watching a movie next week, are we, on Weekly Weird? But we could be, maybe.
We could be. I don't know. It depends on how fast we get through the serial killer lists.
I mean, we're going to get through that.
We're going to blaze through them.
We're going to blaze through them.
And without Jim, we're not going to have much news. So
That's true. Jim is the keeper of the news.
Well, Unicorp is going to abandon us that day.
Oh,
it's
my God, that's true.
I'll try to wrangle something for you.
Listen, if Unicorp, if there is a Unicorp ad, there's no guarantee Dio will remember to read it.
That's true.
We might break our contract next week. But yes, we will be doing the serial killer tier list and potentially a feature for you guys next week on Weekly Weird. Before then, we'll be back on Sunday. Are we doing anything special on Sunday, Patrick? I don't think we are.
This Sunday?
Yeah. No. We're just playing.
We're watching Cabin in the Woods. That's what I'm
excited that's about. Right. Nothing too special. We're playing some games. Come join us. It's 11 a.m. Central U.S. time. Guys, I think we did it. We did it. I think this week was weird. I'm closing up the phone lines. The phone lines are closed. And guys, I don't
Hold
have
your calls until next week.
That's right. Well, join the Discord.
But think about it. You have 7 days to figure out what serial killers you want to call in about.
Yeah, and to test out the cinnamon theory and report back to
us. Yes. Test out cinnamon, pineapple, asparagus, amaranth. You know, try them all.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I don't have a catchphrase to end the show, so say goodbye, Jim. Ooh, they're peers. And bye, Patrick.
Live deliciously.
Oh. Oh, you know what? And we'll shout out, Papa TV's Christmas gift one more time. I want to slap Mothman's ass.
Cheeks.
Look at these goddamn cheeks.
Yeah,
guys,
that's how we end every time. Just the cheeks.
Catchphrase, guys. Anyway, we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Tune in next time for more